Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. It's Jeranism, back with another live video for you today. It's a little early, but I'm here, I'm awake, I'm up, and we're ready for a poolside extravaganza. NASA threw the old curveball at me this morning and started 45 minutes early their spacewalk. So let's see if we can get it up here. What happened to it? It's already gone. Alright, what a good start. Give me 1 second here. We're going to figure out what is going on, why my thing's not working. Properties. There it is. And it is this one. NASA TV Media. There they are. Okie dokie. And then we just got to square this up and we'll be ready to go. So yeah, they actually went out supposedly a few minutes ago. They weren't supposed to go till 5. And now they're out dancing in the water here. Let's see. Come on. 1 second. Oh man, there's a really good scene up right now too. I'm trying to get up. Come on. Why is the screen so big? Sorry, I'm just having trouble squaring this screen up to show you. It is completely out of whack. And still out of whack. So I hope you guys are doing well. Again, like I said, it's early. I don't drink coffee, so it takes me a little while to get moving. Come on. Okay, let's see if this is good enough. That's close enough, I think, isn't it? People will be happy with that, I think. Let's get that in there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch over now. It's as close as it's going to get. Right there. Okay, here we go. And let's see if we can get some sound with it.
Jumpers. And a caution, when you get over to the lab forward end cone, do not use the EWIS antennas as a handrail.
Copy that.
Spacecraft communicator Jessica Meir here in Mission Control with the usual standard caution and warning reminders for Jack Fisher that you see there as he makes his way toward the Destiny Laboratory for the installation of wireless communications antennas, a pair of those antennas, a high wire act 250 miles over the Bering Sea.
Probably means in the Bering Sea. All right.
Yeah, I've got one DET down on the Cedar Trail.
Oh boy.
Move mine, and then I'm going to probably put the other one down. Just
what is going on?
Being shot through one of the windows on the International Space Station by Thomas Pesquet through a handheld camera. Peggy Whitson making her way to the work site of the S0 truss with the replacement, the spare multiplexer, demultiplexer that will be installed in the slot to replace the failed MDM, as it is called.
Oh, the
this
multiplexer,
is a data relay
demultiplexer.
box, one of two redundant computer data relay boxes that control the functionality of the station's major systems, such as the solar arrays, the radiators, the robotics, the cooling loops on the station, a critical piece of equipment that failed on Saturday, necessitating today's contingency spacewalk. And our first view from Peggy Whitson's helmet camera as she begins to set up shop at the S0 truss. There are two external multiplexer demultiplexers that are in slots in the truss that are side by side, essentially.
Okay, okay.
And you're looking at the failed MDM right now through her helmet camera.
Evil on the other Epic. I messed that one up. Alright, tap is still dry, and gloves are still great. No damage.
Copy, Peggy.
Epic
Looks like
MDM number is 16 Echo-0102.
Copy, Peggy. That is as expected. Since we do have the time for it, we would like you to take a minute to photograph the MDM and the receptacle in the area using your GoPro, and we'll take a view in your WVS as well.
All right.
And as we enjoy the view from Peggy Whitson's helmet camera, we can mark this moment at 6:40 a.m. Central Time at the 20-minute mark into today's spacewalk. Whitson has now vaulted past Jerry Ross.
Oh, congratulations.
Into 4th place on the
Wow.
all-time spacewalking list for
Nice job.
aggregate spacewalking time.
Way to go, Faker.
At the 55-minute mark, about 35 minutes from now, she will pass John Grunsfeld and move into 3rd place.
All right, I'm just getting my bearings together here, and I will start doing any commentary that I see fit. But this is that helmet cam view that's always breaking up, always distorted.
And Two Fish, a reminder, during your stow, you'll want 262 alpha against the lab structure, since the first one you'll be removing is 261 alpha.
We'll just be keeping an eye on if, you know, what are they really doing here.
And as Whitson photographs the failed multiplexer demultiplexer on the S0 truss, again this view of Jack Fisher through a handheld camera being shot through a window on the International Space Station by Thomas Pesquet as Fisher begins work to set up his equipment for the installation of a pair of antennas that will be used to enhance wireless communications capability from the International Space Station.
And Two Fish, another warning and caution for you.
Yeah,
Once installed, do not contact the EWC antenna boom, as it could spring back. And once installed, do not BRT to the EWC antenna handrails.
Yeah, get close. There you go.
Copy that. And Jessica, let me know when you in the WVS.
Copy, Peg. We're looking. View looks good, Peg.
So also be paying attention to how much we see
All right,
the
Peg,
Earth.
looks like you already have your BRT on 3445. You can retrieve the ret hook from the ORU bag lid. It's on the inside of the lid, and attach it to the failed MDM tether point, of course, the Zenith MDM that you're looking at.
Okay. From the bag is attached to the MDM. Let me knock it out, though, so pull on it.
Copy, Peg. You have a go to demate the MDM Ethernet cable from the Epic MDM, and we'll take a report. And Two Fish, I see you are on your way to handrail 257.
Confirm. Alpha, good EMI band. I don't know if you can see it in the WVS, but it was no damage.
Copy, Peg. Good inspection. You may or may not need to restrain that Ethernet cable. Suggestion you could maybe restrain that to 3445 or 3446 if it's going to be in your way for the R&R.
I think I'm going to put it on the Zenith when we're back here to hold it back. That's 3445.
Copy. Fish, when you get to lab handrail 257, the suggested orientation would be head starboard, feet port.
Copy that.
And Peggy, I have PGT settings when you're ready.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Alan. I was thinking the same thing. Where's the delay today? I'm not hearing any delay. NASA, did you F up? I'm hearing no delay. Usually there's always one. And then I'll show you next time we get that faraway scene what I think they use to mask the scuba divers, and why I also don't think that you're going to see them all the time. Because it's one thing I think NASA does well is to switch up everything constantly. Just makes it easier to fake, because if you did it the same way every time, then somebody could find out and call you out on it. But by switching it up, if somebody says, well, that's a scuba diver, then they can show a scene that it's not one and use that as disproof. So usually it's with the portable foot restraints. They carry around with them, and that's usually what looks like it's actually carrying the astronaut around. I don't see it here, but I'm getting a faraway view. I'm usually able to full screen, and I can't. Otherwise,
with your BRT in position,
you won't see the same thing I'm seeing.
Doing is depressing the OIH buttons on the handrail 261 alpha, both of those buttons forward and aft.
You're down.
And Peggy, your settings are Bravo 1, counterclockwise 2.
Copy Bravo 1, counterclockwise.
In one way, we know that this is just not legit. Where's the...
You'll be sliding handrail 261 alpha aft to forward into the OIH seat track. Reminder, the antenna boom should be facing towards lab forward.
Copy that.
And Peggy, you'll first be releasing the secondary bolts, expecting 7 to 14 turns.
Copy secondary first. I'll work on starboard first.
So, kind of watch... I'm watching her feet right now, because what's going to happen is she's going to start floating to the top or towards it, and usually somebody needs to help their feet back down, so I'm kind of watching her shadows, her feet. There was just a shadow there that's gone now, but I don't see where that went. There we go, space drill. So hope everybody in the chat is doing fantastic. As our 52 million is hard being spent on very important things, emergency screwdrivering.
Copy, Peggy, 13 turns, and the bolt sprung out.
For the record, I had my radio show last night, and it is currently 4:48 in the AM. Pretty much still asleep, but at least I still see this shit for the fraud that it is. So,
copy.
Not that asleep.
And Jessica, these just popping up if you're wondering what I'm flirting around with. Adam.
When you got things like that aren't coated in the gold foil, just getting baked by the sun, those things would be so hot.
Ready for settings.
Copy, 2 Fish. Your settings are Alpha 2, clockwise 2, 1 minute from a very brief LOS.
Again, how is that possible?
And 9 turns, right?
So they're about to go to a loss of signal.
15 turns max to a hard stop. Yes, expecting 9.
We have all those satellites up there, so clearly we have to lose signal.
Secondary bolt.
Wouldn't make any sense that you just bounce the signal off the satellite dish and back to the base. So you got to go to loss of
Control
signals.
Houston moving with the same speed as they did back on May 12th. Whitson and Fisher on separate tasks in this contingency spacewalk. At the 29-minute mark, Peggy Whitson currently using a pistol grip tool to remove a pair of what are called secondary bolts holding the failed multiplexer demultiplexer in place. You can see that activity through her helmet camera view.
I mean, is that not just making fun of us on purpose? To keep calling this thing that they're fixing a multiplexer demultiplexer? Come on, a multiplexer demultiplexer. Give me a break. And this is the 200th and spacewalk for Peggy Whitson, and she'll be fixing the multiplexer demultiplexer on the starboard side of the icecraft as it currently is above the Kazakhstan desert and is traveling 17,500 miles per hour.
Spare that Whitson built up from existing spare parts and processing cards back on Sunday. Once again, we're in a handover between communications satellites on the tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll pick up downlink TV from the International Space Station just a moment or two from now, as the International Space Station currently flies directly over Las Vegas, moving from northwest to southeast at an altitude of 250 statute miles.
Copy, Peggy. Low torque after 5 turns, 3.5. Stand by.
Look at this BS. It's a loss of signal, but they're still talking to them. So it's just the video signal. Okay? The audio signal, that one's able to bounce off the satellite. Just the video signal is that one's tougher.
And Two Fish, I got your report from the aft bolt. Did you have your report from the forward bolt as well?
Trying to get that red off. It kind of got jammed in. It's off now, moving to the forward bolt.
Copy.
Jack Fisher working on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station. You're looking at the view from his helmet camera. Is in the process of installing the first of 2 antennas that will enhance wireless communications capability for future spacewalkers outside of the outpost.
So remember, they're above Vegas now, which means they're going to be heading into the light. I should probably bring up the let me bring up their current location just so we can keep track of that, because I don't see well, it doesn't look like they're in the daylight yet. But if they're above Vegas, what time is it?
Peggy,
5?
first of all, please check that you don't have any side loads. And then we're going to drive that bolt one more turn.
Yeah, drive it one more turn.
Clockwise 2.
You said one more turn, then Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
Clockwise.
Okay. Whatever.
Got a good body position. I feel like I'm right on, so. Oh, I'm clockwise. Turn. Bolt's done, Jessica. Good torque light, 3.1 on the torque, 8.
You're listening to Jack Fisher, but looking at Peggy Whitson as they work in SIMO here, with Whitson in the process of removing the failed multiplexer demultiplexer at the S0 truss on the backbone of the International Space Station. Fisher, meanwhile, working in tandem on a separate task, the installation of 2 antennas for a wireless communications capability outside the complex.
Counterclockwise 2.
So just give me a second. I'm adding the location button here. Via window. Capture, yes, and then this one is current position. This thing here. A little bigger.
Okay.
I gotta show you guys what happens if let me transform this over here. Oh, that one's not gonna work. Oh. I actually have a little thing that pops up on the screen now when somebody
Looks like you're
subscribes.
working on
It's pretty
releasing
funny.
the
I'll
cable
show it
wire
to you.
tie from the antenna boom. You'll be securing that to the handrail. And did you get a good tug test?
You'll see it in a minute. I have to finish this
Sure
thing
did.
first. Properties. No, transform.
Copy.
And I gotta crop this.
Funny turns, and as I was pulling it off, I got a low torque.
Good.
But I think it's fine.
That's about right. Top
Copy, Peg.
500.
Stand by.
Oopsie. Too much.
Okay, Peggy, we concur it looks good, and you think it's fully released?
So I'm just bringing up a little map here so we can see where they're at. They are in the daylight. Oh man, somebody just subscribed to it and you're going to miss this thing, but it'll keep happening. It's pretty funny.
Not quite.
Come on. Go
Copy, Peg. Not quite fully
200.
released. Stand by.
And maybe a little more. Okay, now we put this thing over there. Close. And we're going to put that's not big enough.
Total of 3 bolts holding
And
the
transform.
multiplexer, demultiplexer
Stop
in
saying
place
that.
in its slot on the S0 truss. 2 secondary bolts, 1 primary bolt. Whitson continues to use the pistol grip tool to drive those bolts free
Oh, the pistol
so that
grip
the
tool.
MDM can be removed and replaced with a spare unit.
Okay, I think I got it now. There we go.
Bravo 1, counterclockwise 2 step.
It's about right there.
And
Okay,
two
close.
fish, please ensure that the boom aligns with the handrail base alignment marker.
Damn. See, when somebody subscribes now, we're going to get to see Buzz Aldrin here,
Yeah.
and then he gets hit with a chair. Because I think what's funnier than that. Now if I can figure out why this is...
Okay, it's fully released now.
here.
I did a total of 26, but I think it was out before then.
Copy, Peggy. You can temp stow your PGT.
Okay.
And two fish, you confirmed
Right.
good alignment.
What is that red line there?
Copy
for?
that. I see you're headed back to retrieve the next handrail. You'll be reading to 262 Alpha and releasing that
Oh,
from the
that's
fish
this
stringer.
Copy that.
That's why that's there.
The crew running ahead of their timeline by a considerable margin here. A good view of Jack Fisher
he also
as
started
he's
way
working to
early.
install a pair of handrails on the Destiny Laboratory, upon which a pair of wireless antennas will be mounted and cables rigged for the enhancement of wireless communications outside of the International Space Station in the years ahead.
Okay, I feel like I can see a little bit better now.
Firm looks good.
That's too funny. I'm going to love that too much.
A few little scratches on it.
Copy, Peg.
I love it. Every time somebody subscribes, I get to watch Buzz Aldrin get hit by a chair. That's got to be the
Great.
funniest thing ever.
I don't know if you have a WSD, but it looks good.
Copy, Peggy. Yes, we can see it in your WVS.
Peggy Whitson conducting a visual inspection of that failed MDM that she's holding. Nothing untoward
You can get ready to
being shown in this view from her helmet camera.
on the truss itself for any residual cotherm.
Okay. And I'm going to
Trying to fix these screens so they're not over on top of each other all the time. But it's not working as planned yet. Come on, move this one. Window capture that one.
So just 38 minutes into today's contingency spacewalk, the failed multiplexer demultiplexer has been unbolted and will be stowed
You've got all these steps memorized.
by Whitson.
You know you'll be releasing the jack cap from Juliet 5 Alpha onto the with the fish stringer.
There we go, that's better. Let's move this
I do
one.
that inward.
Whitson
Yeah, thanks.
will be working to install the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer in that same slot
Oh
a
my
short time
God.
from now. Once it is
Stop
bolted
saying
into
that
place,
word.
the go will be given for the flight control team here in Houston to power up the unit and to ensure that we have a healthy box. There will be a period of diagnostic analysis of the loading of the software into that box and its full operability over the next few hours. But the first test will be to make sure that we have a healthy box installed to replace the failed unit that Peggy Whitson has just removed from the S0 truss.
All right, Peggy, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I don't know if you can see on the WVS, I have a view of the connection points for the MDM. They all look clean, no FOD, no damage or charring or anything. And the surface, the cold plate surface, is clean.
We copy, Peggy. That sounds like a good inspection. We're ready to start with steps for the install. Once you grab the spare MDM, we'll take an inspection of that one as well.
All right. I had to get in the truss a bit to get that inspection done.
Again, Peggy Whitson describing what appears to be a clean set of electrical connectors, nothing untoward being viewed in her analysis of the area that the multiplexer, demultiplexer is housed in. Engineers are unsure at this moment as to what caused the failure of this component back on Saturday morning. They're fairly certain it was an internal failure of some sort, and may bear further analysis, assuming the unit is returned to Earth.
That was weird. Get this out of here. Sorry, I'm actually trying to fix the view for you, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be. That's a little better there. Okay, that feels better. And then this thing here. Shrink that down.
And again, an outstanding view of Jack Fisher as he works to install the second of a pair of handrails on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station, which is currently flying just to the west of Costa Rica on a northwest to southeasterly track that will carry it across Ecuador a few moments from now. Fisher working to install a pair of antennas for an enhanced wireless communications capability, while Whitson is working to install a replacement, a spare multiplexer, demultiplexer on the S0 truss, which precipitated the failure of the MDM, one of the two fully redundant MDMs on Saturday. That failure precipitated today's contingency spacewalk.
Second boom that you already installed.
Let's go ahead and do a little bet here. Everybody in the chat, type in your estimation of how many more times we'll hear multiplexer, demultiplexer in this 2-hour spacewalk. I'm going to go with 8 more. Anybody want to up me on that one? I like 600. That's pretty good. 50 is probably about right. At least 66. 33. All right, we'll start the countdown clock now.
Copy. Looks like it's a foot away, right?
What is that, a caulking gun?
A from 2 fish should be about a foot away.
Okay.
Once again, looking out of the helmet camera of Peggy Whitson as she stows the failed multiplexer, demultiplexer.
That's one.
In her orbital replacement unit bag. This will be returned to the safety of the Quest airlock a short time from now, after the spare MDM that Whitson built up out of spare parts on Sunday is installed in the slot.
We can't count the MDM,
truss.
even though that's what it is, but gotta hear him say it out because he's really into this multiplexer, demultiplexer.
Hey, the one little bubble where we had in the coast there bubbled back up again, but it's not any worse than it was before. I don't know if you can still see that.
Copy, Peg. Stand by.
Again, this is the same unit that Whitson and Shane Kimbrough installed during a spacewalk on Expedition 50 on March 30th.
The NVL jack looks good, clear, no FOD. Pins are straight. And the blind mate connectors. 15. All the pins still look straight.
So shouldn't they be in the middle of the sun?
Copy, Peg. Stand by on the
Where is it?
cotherm.
It's kind of close, I guess.
Settings on this side, right, Jessica?
Your settings are Alpha 2, clockwise 2. A-firm. Again, expecting 9 turns, a max of 15.
We got no delay at all. Guess they fixed that
Peggy,
issue.
we are go with a cotherm as is. So you can align the guide pins with the guide rails and slide the Epic MTM into its soft dock position. A reminder, if the scoop is in your way at all, you can remove it as long as you have your mini workstation RET in place prior to.
Okay.
This is the spare multiplexer, demultiplexer that will be installed in the S0 truss slot a moment or two from now. The reference to Cotherm. Cotherm is a thermally conductive insulator that protects the MDM while it's outside of the airlock.
Oh, he almost said it.
These computer data relay boxes are very thermally sensitive to the fluctuations of cold and heat as the International Space Station orbits the Earth.
I gotta get a set.
What
What is that noise? Stop
Copy,
telling me
Peg,
that.
soft dock, and you can attach your mini workstation RET to the MDM. Lock out your RET.
I think every time we get an MDM, we'll go with this sound effect.
Let's get scientific.
So what are we at? 2. And I'm getting to watch Buzz Aldrin get chair shots. This really couldn't be a better morning. Did the sound break? What happened? I probably messed it up. I'm good at that. What did I break here? I don't know. It is like a drinking game. Too bad it's 5 in the morning.
MDM, and I'm going to go ahead and release.
Copy, Peg.
I can't even read this. People's name is too little. Move this up a little bit. Let's try that. I definitely have problems. I get a little too happy seeing Buzz Aldrin take chair shots. It's probably a problem. So, I mean, this is, I mean, how can you verify any of this? Where is the Earth? Have we seen the Earth one time? Even once.
Peggy, we'll be driving the primary bolt first. Your settings will be Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
So far we've got no delay, and we've never seen the Earth yet. It's great watching Buzz Aldrin get a chair shot every new subscriber. That, and we're keeping account of the times he says multiplexer, demultiplexer. He's enjoying that one. And Peggy Whitson here is screwing in her hand wrench with the multiplexer,
You'll be driving that bolt
demultiplexer.
23 turns only. Reminder, you'll be reporting your max torque, and then we'll give you those next settings on the primary bolt.
23 turns only.
So watch. If somebody subscribed, you'll get to see.
This is Mission Control Houston,
comes.
48 minutes into today's spacewalk. Peggy Whitson using her pistol grip tool at the outset of the installation of the replacement multiplexer, demultiplexer in the S0
Number 3.
replacing the unit that failed on Saturday, necessitating today's contingency spacewalk by her and Jack Fisher.
Yeah, maybe we'll guess like 666.
And 2 fish, reminder that that PDGF is just by your left knee.
Oh, no fisheye camera there.
Thank you.
Where is the Earth? Where is the Earth? You know the thing you should be flying above. Come on.
15 turns.
Look at the curved
And
fuselage
Two
here.
Fish, what was your turn number on that aft bolt?
Look at the camp. Now we've got up.
8.29.
Oh no. Stephen
Copy
Christ
that.
was right.
That's a
It's
good
concave.
install. Please perform a tug test.
So strange.
Great view down the longitudinal axis of the International Space Station from Jack Fisher's helmet camera.
Where's the Earth?
Torque at 9.4, and I had 21 turns.
21 turns, torque of 9.4. Stand by.
I want a space drill. What is that, all broken? Or is that just your GoPro lens? Even GoPro the drill.
That's good. My wobble doesn't wobble anymore. I must have a side load on it.
Copy, Peg. Stand by.
Okay, I got to use the restroom real quick, so I'm going to leave you guys to yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Spacewalks, neither in space nor walks. Discuss.
And Peg, stand by for now. We're double checking those values. Bear with us.
There's no problem.
And Two Fish, good tug test.
Good tug test. I'm working on the connectors now, Peg. Okay. You're working that first bolt? Yeah, to drive the new one in. Sweet. Cotherm worked out for you? Yeah, Cotherm is not a problem, but my wobble on my socket isn't wobbling anymore.
And we see that in your WVS, Peggy. We're talking it.
We are toggling views between helmet cameras. You saw Jack Fisher's helmet camera a moment ago. This is Peggy Whitson's helmet camera view as she works with the flight control team here in Houston to ensure that she has all of the bolts driven properly to secure the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer in its slot. You
Let's
see it
get
right
scientific.
there. This is the spare MDM that is replacing a failed unit that went down on Saturday morning for unexplained reasons.
What was my guess? 8? I think I'm going to win. We're at 4. Which actually he had to say it at least 5 times
Okay,
before
Peggy,
we
we're
started
going to have
filming.
you reattempt releasing that primary bolt. Your settings will be Bravo 1, counterclockwise 2, and standby 1 while we double check that wobble one more time.
We're going to double check the wobble. Did I miss something? Did I miss anything good? Did they explain why their hand crank is bent? I just saw Sputnik go by. Anybody else see that?
That's a great view, Peg. Thank you. We're talking it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably need to swap with Jack.
Okay, Peg. Stand by.
I agree, Micah. Totally.
GGs? Yeah, or 6-inch wobble. Yeah, I was about to release these cables. Would this be a good time to just come over there and swap out PGTs with Peg?
I'm pretty sure my very first cell phone,
Stand by, Two Fish. Give us 1 minute to work it.
a Sprint Direct Connect, had a better camera on it.
And Two Fish, why don't you give me your status so we know where you are right now?
Stop
while we
calling
make
him
that
Two
decision.
Fish. Stop calling him that. You're in a pool, so the guy's got to be Two Fish.
282 to release the wire ties and run the cables. You can probably have them at
Copy
least
that.
back down in a minute.
Call the group all fish.
Sure, two fish. While we make our decision here, please ensure that the boom aligns with the handrail base alignment marker.
Call them tuna fish. Where is the earth?
Roger that. Got, thanks. And it is aligned.
Ooh, nice view here. So a great view here of Peggy Whitson as she progresses across the
I
truss,
think when that torque went up at the end, just
attempting to fix the multiplexer, demultiplexer, double
Jack Fisher has
demultiplexer.
completed the installation of the two
All right, Peg, our plan is
of the two new wireless communications antennas. He will hand his pistol grip tool over to Peggy Whitson as she continues to work to drive a trio of bolts to fully secure the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer into
Let's get
place.
scientific.
Fisher still has to mate a series of harnesses, harnesses of cables for the wireless antennas to provide electrical connectivity from the Destiny laboratory to which these new antennas have been installed.
We got 5. Next time you hear that guy talk, just listen for the uhs. It is hilarious. Listen.
And at 7:15 a.m. Central Time, Peggy Whitson has now moved into 3rd place on the all-time spacewalking list for aggregate spacewalking time, having just surpassed John Grunsfeld's previous
Sorry, John.
mark.
You lose.
Whitson vaulting past Jerry Ross and John Grunsfeld into 3rd place now. You see the top 5 spacewalk all-time leaders. There's your leaderboard.
Ooh, the top
as
5.
they say on the PGA Tour. Whitson now has advanced past John Grunsfeld, who logged 8 spacewalks and 58 hours and 30 minutes of spacewalking time. Whitson in her 10th spacewalk, with her clock continuing to tick forward.
So this one's on the starboard side, so I'll have the key red available.
Look at the tools even bent with the fisheye view. This is great. Yeah, so next up, there's the bubble. Next time you hear him talk, you'll hear the Peggy Whitson and Two Fish as they install with the pistol grip tool and what, did you fall asleep? Come on, I'm the only one up at 5 in the morning. And Missa came in here, said hi. I was like, oh, you're up early? She's like, I'm going back to bed. So, oh, cool. That's nice of you. What is going on? What work is being done? I got to play a little Gary Radnich.
Who does that?
A good view of our spacewalkers. Peggy Whitson on the right at the S0 truss of the station. Jack Fisher moving from the Destiny laboratory to join her so he can hand off his pistol grip tool for her to continue driving a trio of bolts to secure the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer into place.
Let's get
The
scientific.
International Space Station has just passed off the coast of Uruguay, moving from northwest to southeast across the South Atlantic.
That's 6.
I told you I'd carry your trash for you. Well, I thought you were coming from the starboard. Here you go. I thought you meant starboard of the left. Oh.
Folks, that is a disc.
Sorry.
That's
No
not.
problem. Make it work.
How is that a globe? It's
Just
a.
wanted to leave my...
Oh, goodness.
I'll hand you my PG wrap first. Hey, you want me to take that adjustable off so it's easier for you?
No, don't take her clothes off.
I'm going to take it off anyway.
No, don't.
Oh, because I know you don't like it.
Please don't.
Okay, thanks.
Don't do it.
Such a considerate team member.
Ew, gross.
Yes, he is.
Great expeditionary skills, Two Fish.
You're happy.
Let's
There you
move
go.
and gay and get it on.
Oh my God. So beautiful.
We concur.
Epic MDM, I'm going to call it.
What do you mean you concur?
We amaze balls.
What? Now I heard balls.
That's
This
how
thing's-
beautiful it is.
This thing's getting crazy.
Science is a liar sometimes.
Okay, I'm ready to yours. Oh yeah, let me get this guy. Okay, sorry.
If they have sex in that pool, we got to clean it out with bleach. That much I know. Those are the rules.
And where's yours? Stand by, I found it. Other side. I just stowed it over here because I thought you were coming from that direction.
You already said that.
No, it's okay.
So that piece of metal right there, is that bent like a bow? Whoop, bubble. We saw that one. Space bubbles. I gotta get a bubble sound effect. I don't think I have a bubble sound effect. I can do this one though.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Coming back at you. Okay.
It's just sad I'm kind of rooting for like one of those cords to get turned into a noose. It's probably not the way you should feel about it.
All right. New PGT.
At the 1 hour mark into today's spacewalk, Peggy Whitson now has Jack Fisher's pistol grip tool.
Uh-oh.
Since he has completed the installation of 2 antennas on the Destiny laboratory, he will shortly be hooking up harnesses of cables for both of those antennas. Whitson now will use this second pistol grip tool to try to more forcefully bolt down this replacement multiplexer, demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
The failed unit was removed a short time ago and stowed in a bag that will be returned to the airlock of the International Space Station.
That's 7. You gotta be kidding me. Is he like paid? Is it like an advertisement? Maybe he gets paid for every time he says it. Yep, that piece of metal is really bent like a circle there. Mm-hmm.
And Two Fish, your tether will be already running back to the lab since you left your green hook there, so it should be a clear path.
What's that? Somebody left the lights on, so
What?
it's a little easier to see. And
Somebody
it's
left the
awful
lights on.
pretty.
What does that mean?
We concur, Two Fish. We're also enjoying the view.
Like with this. Oh, big. Thanks.
How is she enjoying the view? She's looking at the drill. Ridiculous. Hey, I got good news though. Look at this. I've got 862 people watching live. NASA 169.
23 turns out.
I got to show you this. This is great.
Put it back into soft dock.
Look at here. Let me see if I can bring this up here. So NASA's got 167 people and I've got 867. Who's winning now, NASA? Who's winning?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Peg, you can remove the MDM. We're going to verify that there's no FOD near the connector end of the MDM, the receptacle, or the wedge, and no damage to the cotherm connectors.
Plus, I've had about 50 chair shots on Buzz Aldrin. I easily win. Fix your bent space drill.
Peggy Whitson is basically backing out the bolts so that she can remove this spare MDM from the slot that she just bolted it in place to. She will back it out a bit and adjust its orientation ever so slightly so she can drive those bolts once again and get a firmer feel basically for the MDM being bolted properly into place.
In the bolt receptacle itself?
It's floating away.
It's floating away.
It was coming from right here behind the attach point. There goes another one.
Go get it.
More.
What are we paying you for?
And Peg, those are coming from the box side?
You've got a
Yes.
fire extinguisher to squirt yourself back over there?
The MDM side, the MDM.
Copy, Peg, from the MDM side. Stand by.
It's another
I don't
Buzz
know if
Aldrin
it's
chair
coming
shot.
From the, come out of the hole. Stand by. Let me look and see if I can see it.
Oh, where is it going to... What time is it?
Peggy Whitson describing a couple of metal shavings.
And Two Fish, when you get back to the work site, we'll have you stand by for a moment.
Roger that. It's kind of hard to see into the hole directly.
Don't look into the hole.
Where the bolt was going into. It does look like there's a little bit of solder around the edge there.
And that's FOD around the edge of the receptacle where the primary bolt goes.
That is correct. That's much better than right here.
Okay, copy, Peg. Thanks. Stand by.
Just like metal shavings is what it's looking like. And when I pulled the bolt out, there were probably half a dozen slivers of metal that I saw float away.
Copy, Peggy.
Let's go to our reporter, Jordan Maxwell. Jordan, what do you think about what's going on here?
Peggy,
Well,
can you
as far
see
as
if there's
I'm
any
concerned,
damage
I've
to
had
the
enough
threads
of
themselves
science.
on the
I've had
bolt?
enough of all those doctors and PhDs. I know what's going on here. We've been lied to, and I mean big time.
I agree. Thanks for the report.
There's a sign on the bolt, and does look, I don't know if you can see it, but like the last
Why is it all dark right there? They're not anywhere near the shadow.
7 or 8 turns closest to the
Come on, get out of the pool.
a different color than the other threads where it actually engaged, I think probably is what happened. It's a lot shinier. Probably just, I would say probably, grease or something on the bolt. It didn't, it came off of the end where it threaded in.
Was that the earth in the...
face.
Oh my goodness gracious. What is that in the bottom
Copy.
left? We need like an angry mob to get up in here like start this.
Whitson continues a detailed inspection of the bolts on the multiplexer, demultiplexer. This is the
Let's get
spare unit that
scientific.
she built up back on Sunday.
I can verify.
Flight control team here discussing
We're at
what
8.
their level of comfort is with how many bolts we can live with that will hold this MDM securely in place in the slot in the S0 truss that you're looking into, courtesy of Peggy Whitson's helmet camera. She described a couple of flecks of metal shavings coming out of the area where the bolts are in the installation point for the MDM. Nothing of any significance, so we're
Don't say
standing by
anymore.
for
I wanna
further
win.
word as she prepares to reinstall
Don't.
the spare MDM
Yes.
in its place in the S0 truss.
8's gonna win. Somebody told him in the office, don't you dare say multiplexer, demultiplexer again. Or that'll be the last you ever say.
While the flight control team continues to talk about the best way to reinstall the MDM.
Don't do it.
A good view of Jack Fisher. And a wave to Thomas Pesquet, who's shooting this video through a handheld camera.
Look at this jackass.
Copy, Peg.
Fisher on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station, hooking up harnesses of cables, electrical cables for the 2 new wireless antennas that will enhance wireless communications capability for future spacewalkers outside of the International Space Station.
Uh-oh. Wait, what was that? Luckily we're recording this. What was that in this? What were the white ball things? The hell was that? I'm not going to rewind it live, but if somebody wants to rewind that, or else it's recording, so we'll see what that was. I don't know what that was. Now this astronaut fell asleep or died or something.
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless,
Okay, guys, we've got
dickless,
a plan
hopeless,
in motion here. What we're
heartless,
going to do,
fat-ass,
Peggy, is have
bug-eyed,
you clean the
stiff-legged,
receptacle
spotty-lipped,
side.
worm-headed
We are 50
sack of
seconds from
monkey
an
shit.
LRS here, so I'll continue until I lose you, and then I'll pick you up. Two Fish, we would like you to return to the airlock so that you can get the cleaner connector tool, which is in the staging bag.
Okay.
I wish those pills. I grew up with a pool.
We're about to go into a handover between communication satellites here. Again, Peggy Whitson holding on to the spare multiplexer, demultiplexer, which is also
Let's get
tethered.
scientific.
She began to bolt this spare MDM into place in the S0 truss to replace the failed unit that was removed a short time ago. It was not seated quite properly, so she backed out the bolts, noticed a few flecks of metal shavings and some other what she described as very minor debris on the connectors to which the MDM is hooked up to.
And
so she's going to go back to the airlock and get some cleaning solution and
not every word has an A at the end of it.
Wipe so that she can wipe down the connectors of the receptacle portion to which the MDM is installed.
Oh, that was good. Installed. You didn't have to say installed. This is the handoff time, you know. Satellites can't quite keep track of the ISS, so got to go through the carryover or the handover. Look at all those people. Nobody's working. Look at this guy taking a picture. He's the only one working. Because we got to take pictures of people sitting at their desk. I had a job for 14 years. Nobody ever walked into my office and took a picture of me at my desk. Because people have shit to do.
Okay, great.
Who does that? Who
We are
has
back with you here.
time?
So Two Fish, when you get back to the airlock, we're going to have you leave that PGT in there. You will retrieve the connector cleaner tool from the staging bag, and you'll also need to retrieve the G-Tech bag, which should be on its own ret. We use that to cover the connectors while we are cleaning the receptacle.
Okay. And Jessica, would you like me to stow the new MDM back in the bag?
Is that based on something that exists, or...?
Stand by, Peg.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do
And Peggy, it
what
doesn't need
you
to go
all
in the
think I'm
bag. You
going to
can
do,
just
which is...
temp sew it however you see best to get it out of the way. Big picture here, you'll be using that connector cleaner tool to clean out that receptacle. So hopefully when we redrive the bolts, we won't have any metal shavings in the way.
What is going on? Is that the Earth in the lower left there? Well, how close are they to the...
1 hour, 13 minutes into today's contingency spacewalk. Peggy Whitson again temporarily stowing the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
The failed unit was removed a short time ago. Whitson began the installation of the spare unit. Felt as if it was not seated quite properly.
Copy thermal cover, Two Fish.
So she backed the bolts out, essentially moved the replacement MDM away from the receptacle slot to which it is installed, and is now awaiting Jack Fisher returning from the airlock.
Once again, Two Fish, you'll be stowing
Who
your
had 10?
PGT
Anybody
in
have
the
10?
airlock, retrieving connector cleaner tool and the G-Tech bag.
While Peggy Whitson
Oh, it's going to go up again,
spends a
maybe.
few moments relaxing at the S0
Relaxing.
truss. Jack Fisher is
He just said, well, Peggy Whitson spends a few hours relaxing.
at the Quest airlock, where he will stow his pistol grip tool and
I feel
retrieve a
11
connector
coming.
cleaning tool for Whitson, so that she can basically clean the connectors at the receptacle end to which the spare MDM will be installed,
Metal shavings around.
making sure that we have clean connectors all the way through.
God, if we had to count
Okay, and
MDM
that's
too,
what
we'd
we're
be in the
intending to clean,
50s.
the bolt hole, so the receptacle on the truss side where the bolt will go into.
Yeah, she like went inside this little opening.
So, Peg, we'll be giving you a config once you get all the parts there, but we'll be using that G-Tech bag to cover those blind mate connectors so that we don't inadvertently dislodge any of those metal shavings into the connectors.
Oh, now they have the delay. They didn't have the delay the first half.
Is that her shadow on top of it? Like, why is the color changing like as if there's somebody outside of it?
It'd be easier if I just go in and hold the G-Tech over those blind mates, and then
I kind of lost where she's at. I think she went inside there.
Yeah, somebody's
Thanks.
outside with a
if I
light.
get in the truss and
Like there's
position to hold the G-Tech over the blind mates,
It's not her.
that sounds like a good plan.
So she's telling herself that.
We're good
Sounds
with
like
that plan,
my
Peggy.
plan is really good. I really like my plan.
Okay, I'm going to release the ret from the Epic MDM. I can maneuver.
There's something
It is. I can verify
Looks
that
like
the
it.
new MDM
See,
is
that's
back
where she
in the
is.
bag. The bag's kind of half closed. And it's got the scoop on it with the ret. So it's headed to the bag.
Copy, Peg. Good config.
Good config.
I haven't seen them do anything yet. I don't know what they're doing.
There's a socket caddy on the staging bag.
No, the 6-inch wobble is on a ratchet.
Yeah, but I got that 2-inch, so in order to step them over.
Oh,
Balls.
Think about that.
Like, I don't think she's
That's just
doing all
dumb.
that movement.
Right, I'm gonna stuff that in my trash bag,
Trash bag?
2-inch, and then I can step the 6-inch.
Two Fish, you don't need to
Turn this
remove
off real
the
quick.
wobble
Is
socket
it
from the
this one?
PGT. We were just suggesting you leave the entire PGT in the airlock.
What is that
Yeah, but you're
disaster
gonna
over
need
there
a-
anyway?
a
This all
7/16,
right
right?
here. What is this?
Yeah, the 2-inch.
Science instrumentation. Yeah,
raised
Buzz
on
gets
it.
hit again.
There's like way too much movement in here for her to be doing all that.
We should be fine using the PGT that Peggy has.
Oh, something just moved down there. See that?
So, Two Fish, I'm not sure if you copied that. There's no problem with the PGT. There's no problem with the PGT.
Gotcha. Thought the PGT was broke too.
What's
Okay.
she doing?
Negative.
Need the connector cleaner toolkit. Got it, and I'm still on the other one.
G-Tech.
What a mess.
A-frame, connector cleaner tool, and also the G-Tech bag, which is on its separate rack.
You got it. That's a lot easier.
You have to remember that part of the soundboard says no, yes, no, yes, no.
Okay.
We're here to make things easy for you.
Not.
Okay.
Yes. Another chair shot for Buzz.
This is Mission Control Houston, 1 hour, 18 minutes into today's spacewalk. Just to recap where we're at. Peggy Whitson and Jack Fisher on this contingency
We're definitely going to
spacewalk.
11
Whitson at the
here.
S0 truss, where she removed a failed computer data relay box called a multiplexer demultiplexer, one
Let's get scientific.
such redundant units that control a large majority of critical vehicle functions on the International Space Station. It failed on Saturday. This contingency spacewalk was approved on Sunday by International Space Station program managers and mounted today by Whitson and Fisher as part of what are called critical contingency EVAs. You're looking at Whitson in the guts of the S0 truss of the International Space Station. She removed the failed multiplexer demultiplexer and now is standing by for Jack Fisher, who just finished installing a pair of antennas on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station for wireless communications capability in the future. Fisher is retrieving a connector cleaning tool that he will bring back to Whitson at the S0 truss so she can clean the bolt holes
I missed one, didn't
in
I?
the receptacle area of the S0 truss to which the new or the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer will be installed a short time from now. She attempted to install the spare MDM a short time ago. It didn't feel seated quite properly, so she backed the bolts out, removed the MDM again, the spare MDM, did a detailed inspection in which she reported a few flecks of metal shavings coming out from the bolt holes at the receptacle end of the S0 slot to which the spare MDM will be installed a short time from now.
Are we at 13? We're at 13, right? I think we're at 13. I think I caught up.
So what are we watching here for people who are just now joining?
Oh, for people that are just now joining us, we are watching a poor excuse for a spacewalk that is neither in space nor
happening right now.
Anybody walking. It is live, and it was supposedly.
That's what they say.
But currently they are flying and 250 statute miles above Kazakhstan and
so big picture for both of you
Peg
while
Whitson,
you're getting ready for this
who just
cleaning. This is a connector cleaner tool.
passed
so
the
it's
third
that
place in the
nitrogen
all-time
that you'll be
spacewalk,
basically
and
using to spray any of the shavings
she's been
away.
working on the multiplexer demultiplexer, and she got into some guts or something. It's just disgusting. What, I don't even know what's going on. What is this thing over here? This is her little cord, I guess.
Where? Point
Over here that's moving down here.
Oh, point with your mouth.
So where's the light coming from?
The sun.
Isn't it? Aren't they out of the sun? Let me bring that thing back up.
It should be really dark if it's not daytime.
See, they are... let's see if I can make this a little bigger for us to see. Oh, they're just at the Terminator line. They're on the cusp. Let me transition that so people see that. That's probably blocking something, though.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we got PGTs both in the staging bag. I got the connector cleaner toolkit on my swing arm. And I got G-Tech behind my MWS. Everything's ready for the journey.
Copy that, Two Fish. I see you closing the thermal cover. We'll take a safer handle check and a glove and hat check.
Jack Fisher has retrieved a cleaning tool from the Quest airlock. He will bring it to Peggy Whitson, who's standing by at the S0 truss, to use that tool and clean the bolt holes to which the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer will be installed a short time from now. Again, as she removed the failed unit, she noted a couple of flakes of metal shavings or dry film lubrication.
Where's that?
On the bolt receptacle itself. That's the receptacle to which the bolts are driven into for the replacement and spare MDM. So she'll clean that area, make sure it's nice and pristine, and that should do the trick in properly seating the replacement MDM in place.
A bolt hole. Bolt hole. What is that guy doing?
Sorry to make you wait, boss. No. Thanks for helping.
Their lives are definitely at stake.
Yeah, really. Their lives are on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Any moment could end.
All right. Okay. This time I'm on your starboard side. Yeah.
Like that's a light from the ceiling or something.
Does not look like the sun. It's just shining on that one section.
All right.
It's like a stadium light. What's he doing over
Okay,
there?
and we are good with that plan, Peggy, of you holding that G-Tech bag to protect the blind mate connectors, and then Two Fish will engage the connector cleaner tool. Once you guys are in a good position for those connector cleaner tool steps, let me know, and we can start there.
Look at this fisheye lens.
Okay. Bring the local down, and I've got my feet inside
Yeah, you can tell.
the
See how it's
cup.
bending?
Do I need to pop in further? Out of your way?
Mhm.
Is that going to be good? For me? Yeah, because you got to reach right here. Oh, Roger.
Oh, Roger. There's somebody.
Yeah, watch his feet section. Watch around his feet.
I'm going to put the G-Tech on the blind mate on here.
What could that light be? How could the sun just be shining on that one section?
I think there's somebody right there.
So do I.
Either do my hand.
Yeah, those things are moving too much. There's your scuba diver.
And Peggy, a reminder, you have some heat pipes that'll be by your feet, kind of in front of your knees too as well there, so you'll want to avoid those.
You just told him that now? She's been there for an hour.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, there's some heat pipes that you might bump into that will burn you and kill you.
I was gonna say wait for the pink camera, but it's yellow today.
Oh, yellow
Another
camera.
view, Jack Fisher on top, Peggy Whitson below, as they work in tandem to use a cleaning tool to clean the bolt hole receptacles in the
Stop
slot
cleaning
in
each other's
the
buttholes.
S0 truss, to which the spare multiplexer demultiplexer will
Let's get
be
scientific.
reinstalled after an initial
We're
attempt
15.
did not seat it quite properly.
And Peggy, those heat pipes are those ones where those cables were originally, before the MDM R&R, originally the cables were stowed there on 3448, so those heat pipes are there.
She's been there for an hour. Probably should have told her that a little earlier. We're at 15, by the way, 15.
So Two Fish, I'm going to read you some notes about the connector cleaner tool. One nitrogen cartridge is already captured in the tool. The other is lanyarded inside
Yeah,
the
that's
caddy.
not fisheye.
In order
That's
to puncture the cartridge, it must be threaded into the tool until the indicator line passes out of sight under the collar of the tool.
It's like the directions on Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Place in toaster.
Puncture the connector cleaner cartridge
Pull toaster
only
handle.
when you're ready to perform the actual cleaning. You'll be using the entire nitrogen cartridge.
Please blow up or something.
There's a reason why they're doing it at 2 in the morning.
Chair shot.
All right, she's punctured. And the
All right, she's punctured.
connectors are completely covered.
That's Marvin Gaye.
Yeah. Are we getting any guts?
Copy. Two Fish, you'll be rotating the cartridge past the black line to puncture, inserting the nozzle into the suspect stanchion,
Wow.
and depressing the trigger and moving the nozzle back and forth and inside and out to liberate any FOD.
Holy cow.
Okay.
This cleaning tool that Jack Fisher is about to use to clean the bolt holes in the MDM slot in the S0 truss is very much like a compressed air duster that you would use to clean equipment with back on Earth.
Back on Earth.
Would last about 10 to 15 seconds, in short bursts about 10 to 20.
Hmm?
There's no air up there. You can't use an air duster in space.
Yeah, what good would that do?
A few flakes of either lubrication or metal shavings noted as the failed MDM was removed from those bolt holes a short time ago by Peggy Whitson.
Oh, they're dirty
to
boat
ensure that
holes.
we have clean connectors and a good seating of the spare MDM.
Got to keep it clean.
The cleaning of this area is underway by Jack Fisher.
You got to clean the area. I mean, can't go in there just dirty.
Two Fish, we'd like you to focus on that center bolt. If you think it's completely
And then
clear,
his
you
nickname
can
is
use the
Two
remainder
Fish,
of the
and they're in the
cartridge
pool.
receptacles for the secondary bolts.
He's a fisher.
Goodness.
You think, Craig? No FODs come out after that second burst.
Hmm?
Do these two.
She couldn't make it come in first.
Okay, right there.
That is one big pile of shit.
Visible FOD there. I don't know if the cartridge is out or not, but that's good. I think all three look clean as a whistle. Yeah.
Copy. All three look clean. Great work, guys.
Copy, all three look
Way to clean those buttholes.
Is there any more nitrogen left, or did you expel it all?
I didn't think it did.
It was all gone.
They wasted it all. He blew his load.
Copy.
See any reason to think that's damaged. There was a lot of debris, obviously. But I don't see any
Ew.
marring on the threads. You
Squirter.
already put the GoPro up there to get pictures.
I did. I recorded.
You want to know the great thing?
Some photo.
We're going to check again right
And we
now
concur,
just to
guys.
show
We think that it's probably just Loctite or
who's
grease.
winning here.
So now that it's cleaned out,
So
we
this
concur.
is-
Hopefully there is no
Oops.
damage, and we can
That's not
proceed
to
with
move.
the install.
This is NASA's feed. Look how many people they have watching live. 173.
Oh.
Okay, now let's look at my feed. 976.
May I take these back or...
NASA's losing.
Yeah, and once you're done stowing the connector cleaner toolkit, either one of you could take photos, either with a GoPro or the EVA camera, your choice.
Your choice.
Wow, options up there in space. Really like the line.
Hey, what happened to my thing here? There it is.
What is she doing now?
So you say Monday?
Jack Fisher now complete with the cleaning of the bolt holes and the connector points in the S0 slot, to which the replacement multiplexer, demultiplexer computer data relay box is about to be
16.
reinstalled by Peggy Whitson.
And he must have
we're
said it
back,
5
on
times,
the
6 times
timeline
before we even
again.
started counting.
She will use a pistol grip tool to drive first
Oh,
primary
goodness.
bolt and then 2 secondary bolts to hold this box properly in place. And hopefully we'll have a good seating of the MDM on this try.
And if we had to count
We'll bring that
MDMs,
back
we'd
with
be
you. Two-Fish,
infinity.
If you don't mind leaving the connector cleaner toolkit on you, if that's not going to be in your way, you could just keep it with you.
I'm just going to throw it out in space. Like, no, I don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, another chair shot.
Yeah, I think he's got room.
Oops, it's a little too low. That's why.
I love this that it's alive
Okay.
right now. I feel like
Yeah, and I've got
how is everything
GoPro
moving?
view.
I know, and it's all just bowing.
Jack
Yeah, but that's
stuff.
all, like, is it supposed
Definitely
to move
took the
separate
debris off the front
Shouldn't.
front face. There was debris before.
What is going on?
I don't think they're doing
What are they doing?
I thought, like,
This is where
We
our
copy
money
all.
goes. 52 million a
you
day.
should get out of the craft, execute your mission, and get back in, or you're going to die.
This is so important, though.
What do you want to do?
I mean, the kids, the starving children can wait.
Once they take it back, so
We have MDMs to replace.
Can we do a voiceover one?
Yes, we have to. People have been clamoring for it.
for a rep to the
What the-
bag, I guess.
Whoa, watch out. Elbow to the face.
And then I'll just take
Watch out.
the bag.
And once you guys are cleaned up there, Two-Fish, we will have you return to your work site. So once again, you can leave your green hook on that same handrail on 253.
What they can't see, so you need to tell them exactly
I don't know why they can't see it.
The carabiner clips.
Yeah, where
I'll
is
just
the
take
thing
some
at right
pictures.
now? It's there in the dark.
We copy.
Doesn't look like it. Well, it doesn't look like it changed since they moved into the dark.
No.
Okay, I got a rat to the bag.
We gotta
got
take
a
some.
rat?
Gotta take some
She found
selfies.
a rat in the
Pop it
bag.
out for the Jeep.
Don't forget the selfies.
Who does that? Who has time?
How's the chat looking? Anybody saying anything?
How's the chat looking? Not real. Yes, we know that. I just like that I'm dominating NASA at 9-1 on their viewership.
The view from Peggy Whitson's
Uh-oh.
helmet camera as Jack Fisher
Who had 17.
leaves her at the S0 truss to return to the Destiny laboratory to route
Whoa.
Watching their feet.
a series of
Around their feet area, 'cause that's where I
electrical
think it's
cables
Yeah.
for the newly installed antennas on the laboratory that will be used for enhanced wireless communications
Oh,
capability
enhanced
in the future.
wireless communication.
Meanwhile, Peggy Whitson is preparing to reinstall the spare multiplexer, demultiplexer.
Let's get
Now that
scientific.
the bolt connectors at the receptacle side and the slot in the S0 truss to which this MDM resides have been
How can you say
cleaned.
that many times?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't know what the Let's Get Scientific
We copy.
is, we're playing it every time this announcer says the dumbest name of a apparatus ever, the multiplexer demultiplexer.
Great teamwork, guys.
Great teamwork, guys.
All right, now
Way to fake the world, guys.
do your thing.
Don't worry, we'll let you live another day.
He just said, "Do your thing."
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on.
All right,
Okay.
do it.
No more malfunctions.
What is like her head down here?
Oh yeah, she's giving him the BJ now.
Can't do that in space.
And Peggy,
saw
once
something
you
move over
egress
here.
the truss there, as you're doing, we'll take
What's
a
that? Look
safer
at-
handle check.
What was that?
They always cut.
Handles down.
Oh, good. I feel better. Every time Buzz gets hit with a chair, life just gets better.
Ooh. What is happening back there?
Handles.
I think they're looking inside the box now.
It looks like what is happening back there? There's
Like a-
something in there.
Like this box?
Yeah, it was a box.
I don't know
Copy
what
the
it
check,
is.
Peg.
Looks like a mask.
Looks like a room.
Like a face. You guys doing anything, or are you guys just putzing around?
They're not doing anything. This girl's been hiding in that box
You will
for
be picking up
the whole
where
time.
you left off. So after you
like
put
when
your
you're at
green
work
hook
and you
down
find
there
a
on
person hiding
253, you'll be proceeding out to the lab forward wagon wheel to retrieve those cables.
The lab forward wagon
Go out
wheel.
into space and things fall and
Sounds great.
Watch out for the pokey parts.
Oh, here he goes.
Oh my gosh. You guys have my WBS right now?
We do.
You've never seen a sunrise, dude? You've been up there for 6 months.
He's like, oh wow.
Oh my god, you guys looking at this? The sun rises.
Copy. Beautiful.
You've never seen the sunrise before from up here, even though I've been up here for 6 months.
Wow.
I guess they don't have windows on this craft.
And Peggy, we will take another inspection on the MDM as you're pulling that out of the bag. So any order, the Cotherm, the blind mate connectors, and the NZGL jack.
Hey.
Stop all your pretending.
Still looks good. Just that small bubble we talked about before. And my mate connectors all look good.
Can you imagine the engineers that would have built this and said,
And the
let's put
connector
all
on the
this shit
front
on the outside of the
all
craft.
looks good.
But we could put it on the inside. No. Put it on the
Copy
outside
all.
of the craft.
You
I
can
want
align
two
the
fish
guide
to be
pin
able
with
to
the
see
guide rails
sunrises.
And slide the Epic MDM into soft dock.
If two fish can't see sunrises, then we're not doing this project.
1 hour 36 minutes into today's spacewalk by Whitson and Fisher. Another inspection of the spare MDM that Whitson is now in the process of reinstalling in the proper slot in the S0 truss of the International Space Station after a series of bolt hole connectors were cleaned by Jack Fisher a short time ago.
Job, Jack. I was way off. What do I have, 8? We're at 17? Yeah, that was bad guess. Who had 32 boat hole cleanings? That's the question. Who had wetting their pants over a sunrise? Anybody have that one? Joe, you said you had 20? Nah, 20 looks pretty good. I'd say 20 looks pretty strong.
Copy, Peggy. You can attach your mini workstation RET and lock it out.
Because this is just supposed to be a 2-hour spacewalk today. We don't have to actually sit here for 8 hours because too many people would kill themselves.
Copy.
There's another case of no delay.
The International Space Station flying 250 miles over southern China as Peggy Whitson begins the process of reinstalling the spare data relay box, the multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
The unit that failed on Saturday, necessitating today's contingency spacewalk.
Joe, you're looking real strong. 20's looking strong. I mean, does he hear himself talking? At a certain point, don't you realize you're just saying the same word over and over and over again? Let alone the fact that the word itself is the same word over and over again. after this is
So,
over...
Two Fish, you're looking for handrail 282. That's the one that runs radially in toward the center of the lab.
Take that, Buzz. After this, I got to go pick up a radiator deradiator.
Copy. And you'll be releasing wire ties for the P5 and Papa 6 connectors.
And we also have to get the humidifier, dehumidifier. Got to get one of those.
A view from Jack Fisher's helmet camera as he continues work to hook up electrical cables to the pair of antennas that he mounted on the Destiny laboratory a short time ago.
Peggy, your PGT settings will be Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Where's all this light coming from?
Bravo 1.
I'll pull this back over just so you can see it real quick.
And a reminder, you'll be driving the primary bolt 23 turns only. Will take your max torque and 1 minute from that LOS.
Why would there be a loss of signal? Where are they going to be in 1 minute?
23 turns only.
Over the Pacific Ocean. No, they won't be there in a minute. Where is that? You can't see where the craft is. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. Well, I know this is bullshit. I know that much. I'll pull this back just so we don't miss anything. It looks like they're over, I don't know, Japan-ish. We'll lose that, though. Space drill.
Peggy Whitson again using the pistol grip tool to drive a primary bolt. There is one primary bolt, two secondary bolts that hold this MDM securely in place.
Who cares? They can't show you the Earth. You know what that would, if they showed you the Earth, then you could actually check on them. For all we know, this was recorded yesterday. But it's live. Sorry, it's live. It has to be live because they tell us it's live.
Erroneous!
Oh.
Erroneous! Erroneous on both counts.
My bad. Who is doing any work? Do work.
A reminder for the Zenith and the Nader wire ties. The Zenith one will be coming with the lab cable harness bundle. The Nader one stays with the handrail, so please make that one low profile on handrail 282. While you're releasing the wire ties on the cable harness itself, we do believe those are captive, but you might want to double check.
Pretty sure her ankles are handcuffed.
That's complete.
Or ankle cuffed.
20 turns, low torque 11.0 was the actual torque.
Copy, 20 turns, low torque 11.0. Stand by. Two Fish, you'll be routing that lab cable harness to the port EWC handrail 262 Alpha that you installed.
What is with
releasing those wire tie twists as required. And we suggest our BRT to handrail 266.
Excuse me.
That's second, right? Never mind. You're right. Got it.
Watch your hot mic.
66.
It's another thing you'll hear a bunch. I've got, at least 3 videos where the girl in the office will tell somebody to watch their hot mic. So they've got 2 mics. Like when it's shut off here, they're talking on a different mic. Because sometimes they'll start talking, they'll say, watch your hot mic, watch your hot mic. And they go, oh, my bad. Oh, okay. So there's the mic that we hear and then the hot mic. And now she's fallen asleep. Oh, she died. Peggy's gone. Peggy, wake up. Got work to do. We got to replace the multiplexer, demultiplexer. It's emergency spacewalk. When's the last time you had an emergency at your house and did it 2 days later? Oh, my wife, she's sick. We need to take her to the emergency room. We're going to go next Wednesday. Another chair shot for Buzz. What is this person doing? Let's just watch here, okay? So we got to move this cable here. And we've got to move this cable over here. And we're going to have to move over here. And do a spin. And do another 360. And grab these cables and move them back over here. And we got to move this one over here.
Okay.
And
Great commercial where that sumo wrestler's ice skating.
we don't have time for jokes.
Not to hit anything. How about you?
What? Stop it.
20
And we're
turns
still-
and then another low torque on it.
We're still talking it down here, Peg, so stand by. Hopefully we'll have an answer shortly.
Don't worry.
No worries, just my life on the line. I'm
Don't
not
get it
fine.
right.
Everything's fine, don't worry. I think the answer to all this is simple, really.
Smoke weed every day.
What is happening now? How is it so lit just a second ago? And now it's dark? Oh,
We don't need it.
what is there, sunrise right now? No way. You're nowhere near it. Bring this back up real quick. You're in the middle of the dark. Where's this light coming from? What is going on? What are the toilet paper rolls for? Where is that light coming from? Jeez, this thing's a disaster.
Jessica, if you can back me up, I'm looking P5.
His name is Swimming Fish.
P5 Alpha.
Tuna Fish.
A-firm. So you'll be removing the plug cap from Papa 5. A reminder that you'll need to ret to that plug cap. And that you are looking at a connection between Juliet 5 Alpha and Papa 5.
Oh, come on. I could do that too. It's not impressive. Place that second R to the 35D and then remove
This
the
is Mission
second
Control
cap
Houston.
for the
Flight
44L.
controllers here in Mission Control are evaluating the number of turns that Whitson accomplished with the pistol grip tool in her second attempt to properly seat and install this replacement multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
We're at 19. We just need a Alpha Bravo R to the L and a 36 on the Delta center. It's really simple. Don't know why they're doing the 14 rotations when they could have done 12. These people aren't in space.
The belief here is that a few more turns with that pistol grip tool are needed
We're gonna hit 20.
to ensure that we have a secure seating on this primary bolt, one of three such bolts. There's a primary bolt and two secondary bolts holding the spare MDM in place.
Ooh, close.
This is almost identical to the issues that Shane Kimbrough encountered when he and Peggy Whitson installed the MDM that failed on Saturday in the same slot back on March 30th during a spacewalk they performed together during Expedition 50.
Who cares?
Essentially, the flight controllers playing it conservatively just want this spare computer data relay box to be properly seated, securely seated in the slot. You're looking at it right now through the helmet camera of Peggy Whitson.
What is she, sleeping?
Before the green light is given to complete the driving of two secondary bolts that will firmly attach this MDM in place.
The goal here is to get to 23 turns, so let's see if you can get 3 more turns.
Do 3 more turns.
And of course, we'll take that running torque report one more time.
Yeah, hello. I'd like to report a crime. Yeah, some clowns are pretending they're in space. Can you get on it? Thank you. Oh, good. They're responding. It's those two, sir. Those two right there. Yeah, pretending to be in space. And the other ugly one in the office, get her too.
Got those, so I'm going to get.
Copy 1.4.
Copy. Raj.
1.4 turns and what torque, Peggy?
1.4 turns?
It's 8.
It's a 7.
8.9, now it's 10.7.
Oh,
It's
10.7.
another turn and a half.
Right.
So that should make 23.
Yep, 23.
We copy and concur. Stand by, Peg.
Yeah.
If you want to see this thing fall out of the sky, let me hear you make some noise. Anybody? Anybody?
All right, Peg, we copied those. Stand by for your next setting.
This is really comedy. How about this one? Sorry, I have too much fun with the, I have this huge soundboard in front of me that has a lot of, this one's good.
Science is a liar sometimes.
That's a good one. What else we got on here? Anything else? Don't see anything good. Don't see anything good. What's going on here? Grab me that. Please, thank you. I appreciate it. Where's all this light coming from? This is from their helmet light? I should move this, sorry. Get this out of your way. They're in the middle of the night there. This one, right? Yep. Sorry about that.
Once again, the discussion here amongst flight controllers is to make sure that we have completed the proper number of turns and we have the right torque on this primary bolt to ensure its secure seating in the slot in the S0 truss for the replacement multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
And Two Fish, how's it going?
That's a 20.
I got the fish stringer on me. It's got 4 caps on it.
You got a fish stringer? Your name is Two Fish. You're in the water and you've got a fish stringer? Come on.
P5 now.
Give me a little, come on.
Okay, copy. And you did make sure that that plug lever on 262 Alpha antenna boom J5 was full forward?
It's not connected yet. Second.
Okay, copy that. You're going to do the connection next.
Yep. Do the connection next. Exactly.
Another turn, 1.25 turns, and I have a low torque again. Low torque bikes.
Copy 1.25 turns, low torque. Okay, Peggy, we'll do that one more time to try to get another turn and a half.
What's this one here? Yeah, Buzz Aldrin gets hit again.
Jessica, where do you want me cabling or looping the
Wait, where's this one?
extra
Oopsie.
cable?
There we go.
Yeah, Two Fish, you were cutting out a bit on that, but I think you're asking where you want to clean up that extra cable, which side?
A-firm.
A-firm.
We have a good connection over center lock forward on the A5A to C5
W5255.
Oh, W52556.
Okay, we copy.
Six,
We
you
had
forgot the
those
six.
cable slack cleanup towards the end when you were finished, but if you want to do any of that now, we were just suggesting a low profile and bringing the slack towards the end cone.
Yeah, towards the end cone.
Okay, I got a green light and 0.5 turns.
Take that, Buzz. And I
Copy,
believe
0.5 turns, green light.
I'll put this on the screen too. If you, oh, that's going to block that. Sorry, that's not going to work. So again, I know people don't like to donate, but if you were to donate to me for $1, I believe, you get to see Neil deGrasse Tyson do the Gangnam Style dance instead of Buzz Aldrin getting hit with a chair.
1.25
What's better
turns
than
and
that?
then 0.5, correct? So just under 2 turns now?
Yes, correct.
She answered before the thing was done talking. No delay.
All right, Peg, stand by.
Faked delay. Boom. Take that, Buzz.
Actual torque. 12.
So what time did this start? It was supposed to start at 5, but it started like 4:15. So it's been 2 hours. They're running behind schedule. That's it. Got to write them up. It's going to be a firing.
Peggy Whitson continues to await further instructions. It appears as if we're getting close to a comfort level with the amount of turns and the security of the primary bolt on this spare MDM in the slot in the S0 truss that the failed MDM resided in up until the time of its extraction a short time ago.
I didn't say it. Thought that was it for sure. Still, we're beating NASA 976 to 182. Getting destroyed. 184.
Okay, Peggy, we're going to try one more turn.
Oh, just one more. Just a little oomph. Oh, it's a micrometeoroid. Hit her in the head. Thanks, OBL Music.
Okay, I got...
Where else can you see Buzz Aldrin get hit by a chair 55 times?
12.2 on the actual torque.
0.13 turns, green light, and 12.2. Stand by, Peg.
12.2. Should be 12.4. Oh, you're blowing it. You're really blowing it now. This girl has slept the whole time. What are we paying her to do? I don't even know if she should keep her job. I mean, come on.
That's good. Good EMI band, no FUD, no bent pins.
No FUD, no
Goes to
tens.
mate, A6 alpha to P6.
Alpha to P4. Oh.
Copy,
trouble.
2 fish, A-firm. Go to me.
Go to main. You know who I blame for all this?
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon.
That's who I blame.
We copy.
Wake up. Where are they at here? Let's see. Getting close to the sunrise. They're coming right over me. If it was nighttime, I'd go shoot my laser and try and crash it, but, you know, 250 miles, right? Yeah, right. Sure they are.
All right, Peggy, what we're going to do now is start driving the secondary bolts, but we're going to actually start doing that by hand, given the signature that we're seeing. So we have a go to start both of the secondary bolts by hand. And Peg, with those hand turns, just one turn will be enough. And then we'll go back to the PGT, so I'll give you settings after those hand turns.
Hey, thank you, Super Chat.
More than that. I wasn't sure if I was engaging on the port side.
Oh, I wonder if I can play that again because I didn't get to see what you wrote. Let me see if I can figure this out. How do I do this?
One turn on the starboard side.
I'm new to this thing. Can I press this on and see?
Copy.
FlatEarthMerch.com. Shout out to FlatEarthMerch.com. I'm sure he's got some Flat Earth merch there. Expose the liars, wake the sheeple, R.I.P. Globe. Thank you, Nooble Bear. Yes, I think the Super Chat is the dancing pretenders, pretending like they put a
This is Mission
rover
Control
on
Houston,
Mars.
now almost 2 hours into today's spacewalk. Peggy Whitson continues to work with a trio of bolts to make sure they are properly driven and seated for the spare multiplexer demultiplexer that is in the slot in the S0 truss. This is fine-tuning of the seating of this box and to make sure it is securely in place so that all of the connectors are properly mated and the box ultimately will receive the proper electrical connectivity.
Right. Got to make sure of that. We're at 21 for those who are losing count. 21. Yes, and to...
The team here in Mission Control now believes it is comfortable with the seating of the primary bolt.
As long as they're comfortable.
And we'll be recommending momentarily to Peggy Whitson that we begin for her activities to drive the two secondary bolts to more firmly secure the spare MDM in place in the S0 truss.
Right. Got to make sure you do that. Yes, and I believe, thank you for the Super Chat. The address on the screen is the one that triggers the dancing Neil deGrasse. This is just ridiculous. These people are just sitting doing nothing.
Still outside the craft?
Yeah, she's sleeping.
I got both, starboard and port.
Okay, great news. We're back on the nominal procedure then, and we're
Oh,
going to
we're
have
back
you
on
drive
nominal
the
procedure.
port and the starboard secondary bolts using the PGT. Either order is fine. It'll be the same settings, Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Bravo 1, clockwise 2. Yep, that's what I said.
Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
And you'll be driving those bolts 5 turns only.
Only 5. Each one 5, not 2.5 each. I don't know. Should Peggy Whitson keep her job?
Once you complete those
That's
5 turns on the first bolt, give me your torque and we'll give you the next value.
Let's see. Should she keep her job? Survey says. Nope. Sorry. You're fired. Too much sleeping on the job. That's too many turns. That's too many turns. That's way too many turns. That's more than 5.
And Peg, make that a total of 4 turns since you had the 1 by hand.
She went about 8 turns.
Okay, I did 4.5.
No, you didn't. You did more than that.
Copy, no problem. And what's your torque?
1.7.
That's a lie. Was that a lie?
Was that 2.7?
Yep, it was a lie.
1.7.
1.7.
Copy 1.7. Stand by.
Stand by. Check the register. Did you get your 52 million today? Okay, you're good.
All right, Peggy, new setting for you. Alpha 2.
Clockwise
2.
4. Oh. Take that, Buzz. Are they really counting the turns of the drill? Is that really what's going on here? How many times have we seen the Earth today? 1? And it was a glow-in-the-dark frisbee. This is a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of mines.
Okay, Alpha 2, clockwise 2 is set.
And let's see. Don't screw up your turns.
Copy, Peg, and stand by when we give you we'll give you the number of turns in 1 minute.
You already did. You already said 5. The crazy thing is, to be an astronaut...
Still on the starboard bolt, correct?
Yeah,
yes,
you have 5 on the
Peg,
inside.
it's on the same bolt. So on the starboard side with your Alpha 2 clockwise 2, you will
Right.
take that bolt to torque. a minimum additional 2.5 turns, so the total should be around 7.5.
No, that's wrong. To be, they say that there's 4,000 applicants and they only pick one astronaut out of the 4,000. I mean, do these astronauts sound like they're the cream of the crop?
The torque lights.
The what?
2.8.
Look over there, lower left.
Copy, Peg, quarter turn.
See that shadow over there?
There's actually 0.3.
Right by her foot there.
Copy,
See
Peg,
that black shadow?
0.3 turns, 2.8 on the torque,
That
and a green light,
is
and that's still on the starboard side that you were working.
a scuba diver being blacked out.
That is correct.
Lower left, you see the shadow going in and out there?
Okay, Peg, stand by.
Scuba diver. Live editing. Come on, swim
And
in
we
front
were
of
hoping
everything.
for more turns on that, Peg, so stand by while we assess.
Yeah, hoping for more turns. What is that black shadow thing? There's shadow
Two
monsters
fish,
in
what's
space.
your status?
Shadow monsters.
Coiling the cables and then running them. I kind of have to coil them before I connect them.
Shadow monsters.
We copy.
Well, Peggy Whitson continues
He's still
to
over there
work,
doing the same
to
thing.
drive secondary bolts to firmly secure the replacement MDM, multiplexer, demultiplexer in place on the S0 truss. So this
That's
view
22.
again of Jack Fisher as he continues to rig electrical cables.
Oh, he's
for
rigged
a
it all
pair
right.
of antennas that he installed a short time ago on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station. Those antennas to be used for enhanced wireless communications capability in the future.
Go to start driving the port bolt this time. So we'll be back to those original settings, Bravo 1, clockwise 2, and again, 5 turns only.
You said 2.5 last time. Go back to the other guy. There's somebody with him.
Clockwise.
Freaking liars. I need another Clark Griswold here in a second. Hey, we got another one. The Driz. Hey, Jaron. Oops, I gotta save this on here. Okay, click that. For the balloon launch, use a 1.2 gigahertz video transmitter to get video feedback for almost 90 miles. Check my channel to understand why. Search RC plane to space. Peace, everyone. Thanks, the Driz 567. And I will figure out how to keep that up there next time so people can read that for longer, because it's going to disappear here. But I think I can program that to do longer, and not be in blue writing that nobody can read. You can get video feedback live for 90 miles? Wow. Pretty cool. So they're about to enter the sunrise here, so we should start to see some Earth.
Your new setting will be Alpha 3.
Pull this back off here.
2.
That's one to get out of that one. Oops. So you see we're about to, they're like almost above me. I'll go throw a rock.
For 3.
I'm going to pull this back just because we're about to enter the sun here. Okay, so that's cleared.
Okay, and stand by there before you drive. Peggy, did you get a good green light as well with that 5 turn?
She said stand by there. Don't you dare screw that in.
Yes, I did.
It's gonna get,
No, I got a low torque.
you're going to get fired.
Copy, low torque on the previous.
It's not. It was low torque.
Now there's no delay?
Copy, we had 2.9.
Yeah,
Low torque.
we're just talking, no delay.
Yeah.
You forgot to add the delay. Now she's sleeping.
All right, Peg, your go to drive in that Alpha 3 setting.
Oh.
So you'll be driving that port bolt 2 torque, a minimum of 2.5 turns, looking for a total of around 7.5.
Mm-hmm. Might be 8.5. I think it's 8.
And 2 fish, watch the antenna by your legs there as well.
What?
This wider view of Peggy Whitson as she continues to drive secondary bolts.
No, she continues to sleep.
Securely tighten the replacement computer data relay box in place in the S0 truss. We are now 2 hours, 8 minutes into today's spacewalk that began
behind schedule.
at 6:20 a.m. Central Time. The 201st spacewalk in support of space station assembly and maintenance.
Oh, that's why you're trying to get the 201 as your multiplexer demultiplexers to equal the spacewalk number.
Sorry. So there, it's 4.6, not 4.0.
Yeah, 4.6. Oh.
Copy 4.6.
Told you that already. Is that the Earth there? The huge spotlight?
All right, Peg, we'd now like you to return to that starboard side bolt with the setting of Alpha 2.
I'd like you to return to reality. Can you do that?
Alpha 2.
Let's return to reality. That's what I think you should do.
And we'll be going to torque, see how many turns you can get.
Okay, Alpha 2, clockwise 2, correct?
All right, another one. From, how do you say that? Uli Paseta. Thanks, buddy. Keep the truth going. That is the intention. That is the goal. That's what we're going for here.
Looks
And
like
this
you
is
had a
not
good
truth.
connection there, 2 fish, and double check that the lever's over center, full forward.
Yeah, tuna fish.
Revolver center, full forward.
So, definitely some stuff to look at in this spacewalk again. We saw 3 things. Saw some camera fall.
0.24 turns, 3.6 green light.
And
Stand by.
shows some stuff up on the ceiling or something.
No, negative 2.
Negative.
2.24, 3.6, and green.
Copy 2.24 on the turn.
Okay, let's see where they're at here. Transition. This
correct.
one. This one? Nope, this one. Aren't they in the light yet? Supposed to be daytime. Let's go.
We now believe that we have 3 good bolts and a firmly installed multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
Forward the lab forward end cone and secure the cables.
Who had 23?
Low profile using your wire ties.
In work.
I think before it's over, we might even get to 30. Just think when he's rounding it out, oh boy. He's just going to go off. That's my prediction on. And she's asleep again. Oh, there's the Earth.
All right,
I see it.
Peggy, great news. We have a good install. Everybody's happy with those bolts. So at this time, you can stow your PGT and retrieve your ret.
A good install? So excited. Now, all the diseases that will be eradicated. Child hunger. Poverty.
Just playing with cables, trying to
Homelessness.
make it look pretty over here.
Good. You'll have to look out the cupola window and see your work, so you better be careful.
What?
Want it to look bad.
Yeah, no kidding.
The whole thing looks bad. It looks like a complete and total disaster. Looks like a junkyard.
UT stowed. That is removed.
Copy, Peg. You can retrieve the Ethernet cable from its temp stow location, and we'll take an inspection before you connect.
Yeah, let's run some Ethernet cables. Look at the GoPro on the solar panel over there. And you still think the Earth is curved.
This is Mission Control Houston,
Uh-oh.
2 hours, 12 minutes into the spacewalk. We've declared victory on the installation of this replacement computer data relay box called a multiplexer demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
Replacing a unit
That's a
that
24.
failed back on Saturday, leaving us single fault tolerant and causing today's contingency spacewalk to be mounted by the flight control team here
Mounted?
in Houston. So Peggy Whitson now will connect an Ethernet cable
There we go.
to the replacement computer box. And the green light will be given for flight controllers here to power up the new box to make
Ooh.
sure that we have a good electrical connectivity.
Right.
Internet cable.
Gotta have good
Copy,
connectivity.
Peggy.
Another one. Mercy,
And
Jaren.
for
Oh,
you,
gosh.
looks
I
like you
can't
might
speak
be
French.
Too good with your cleanup there. We do actually want a little bit of slack in the cable. So
Thank
if
you,
you could go
Jaren.
back and take a
You
look at the
are-
connection you made between Juliet 6 Alpha and Papa 6.
That could say
Double
really,
check
really
that
boring.
That lever is
I'm not
still
really
full
sure what
forward
this is.
and that there
I
is
have
a little
to
bit of
translate
slack
that.
at that connection point.
Where's my phone?
There's a little bit of slack at the connection point. It is still connected full forward.
Okay, and I have a good inspection of both the
Thank you, Elaine, though.
cable
But
and
I don't speak.
the Ethernet.
Speak
This
of
view
French.
now of Jack Fisher out of a handheld camera mounted in a window looking out to the Destiny Laboratory. of the International Space Station. He has completed the routing of electrical cables for a pair of antennas he mounted on the lab that will be used for enhanced wireless communications capability in the future.
Well, sure, I can make them.
The installation of the spare MDM and the installation of these two antennas are the only tasks for today's spacewalk, so we'll be standing by for further word on the power-up of the MDM here that should occur very shortly.
What is going on here?
At this point, Peg, you can double-check the cable that has the wire tie on handrail 3446, just to make sure that everything is still clear of the MT path with that cable.
Yes, I can confirm that.
Copy, Peggy. With that, you can give Houston your go to power up the Epic MDM.
So,
all right, Houston, let's power on the MDM, see how it works.
So I'm going to drop this. I'm actually going to put this on the camera just because it'll be funny. So what we're going to do is, if you want to do it, I'm going to do it. You should do it.
And work,
Oops,
Peggy.
Get out of here. So I'm going to try and... Why is this thing cutting off? Hold on 1 second.
And Peggy will take a WVS survey.
And we need to go to...
I just do a go pro survey too.
Transform, edit transform.
But here comes WVS.
What? Why is that thing not showing? Oh, because this
Copy.
thing's not over. Sorry, that's why. We're going to go this way.
A good angle for you guys?
All right, so I've got the chat showing now on this NASA
A-firm,
feed.
Peg, we're getting a good view now.
A-firm now, Peg. So I'm going to drop the chat or the link to the NASA feed, and if everybody goes over there and just types fake or this is a fraud or you guys suck or you should all be put in jail or whatever you want. So this is the... Oh, can I drop it over there? Hold on. I'm in the wrong screen.
With the spare computer relay box having been installed by Peggy Whitson, it took a little bit of extra time to securely...
After your survey, you can clean things up there. You'll be stowing the MDM in the bag, and then we'll take an inventory while you're doing it or whenever works for you.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Okay, so I'm going to send
ready
this over
to
there.
bag. I have a
Grabbing it over here.
and a
So we're all going to go. It's going to be recorded too, so all your
scraper
funny
tool
comments over there will be hilarious.
and
Let me get this one.
a
Copy.
failed MDM.
Oops, I need the whole thing copied. Come on.
Copy all.
It's a good view of Peggy Whitson of the S0 truss.
Don't do that.
Whitson moved into third place on the all-time spacewalking list earlier this morning, surpassing Jerry Ross and John Grunsfeld
Okay, here
in
comes.
total EVA time. This her 10th spacewalk
There
of
you
her
go.
career.
So there's the link. I just dropped
We're
it.
standing by for the power-up
And
of
now we're
this,
going to show that on this
replacement
screen.
MDM.
And let's go over there and say something hilarious.
Now let's try packing it.
I'm over there.
It took a little bit of extra time to securely
Comment
drive
bomb.
3 bolts
Hey, Jessica, I got a
to make sure that the replacement MDM was seated properly in its slot in the S0 truss, but patience paid off. A little bit of extra muscle put in to the use of the pistol grip tool, and we have a secure MDM standing by for its power-up.
That's the funniest thing of all time.
Copy
Oh, we
that,
gotta
Two
move it a little
Fish.
bit
And
so you can
since we've
see.
been going back and forth there, we would like you to check one more time on both of those that you installed that the boom is still in good alignment with the handrail base alignment marker. Sometimes that might be a little bit difficult to check that alignment, so if you want to, you could use an adjustable
So
or
funny.
hook or cable to make sure those 2 black lines are still aligned.
Too funny. It just
And a
keeps
good
going.
view of Jack Fisher
Get out of the way.
with one final look at his handiwork, the installation of those 2 antennas on the Destiny
I love it.
laboratory. He's already rigged electrical cables for those antennas. Just ensuring one more time that those antennas are aligned properly.
Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. All right, get your last things in. I'm going to pull it off here in about 10 seconds.
This is Mission Control Houston, flight control.
Did I miss a multiplexer,
We have
demultiplexer?
a healthy
I don't think so.
multiplexer, demultiplexer.
Oh, there's one.
It is
Let's
up and
get
running in
scientific.
diagnostics, and the next step will be to load the new software into its processing cards. So a successful replacement of the MDM today.
Diagnostics now.
That is too good.
good, good.
Oh,
for that.
y'all just made my day.
Building work by Thomas and
Yeah, good job, tuna fish.
Jack. And the procedures sent out by the guys from the ground.
Once again, at the 2-hour, 18-minute mark into today's spacewalk,
Running behind.
success declared by the flight controllers here in Mission Control. A healthy replacement multiplexer, demultiplexer.
Let's get scientific.
Which was put into play, built up by Peggy Whitson out of spare parts on Sunday morning after
it was built
the other
up
MDM
out of spare parts.
slot in the S0 truss had failed on Saturday morning, requiring today's contingency spacewalk. So
where
the
is
flight
the
control
Earth?
team will spend some time now not only loading software into this MDM, but doing a series of routine health checks as the new software comes up and running. But the good news is the MDM has good electrical
thank
connectivity
goodness.
and is up and running in good shape.
Yeah, thank goodness for
while you're
that.
cleaning things up there, it looks like one of the thermal booties from
Oh,
the NVGL
no,
connector,
not a
which
thermal
is
booty.
closest to your waist tether, may have slid down. So you can double check that all those thermal booties are in place.
Way to go, tuna fish. You blew it. Where is the Earth? It's daytime. Let's go to our correspondent, Clark Griswold. Clark, what do you think of these people?
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit.
Fat ass was a little bit much. I think you kind of went overboard there, but mostly you were right, so I'm going to give it to you. Fat ass, though, I don't know. That's... Come on. She's big boned. Let's not attack people's looks, okay? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And Two Fish, since you checked the slack, do you think that Two Fish in the other antenna that you installed, do you think that there is some slack in that one as well?
Get over there. We want to see the ball. Earth. Come on. Show it to us.
Okay, copy. We concur. And
Come
go
on.
ahead, Peg.
Show us the fisheye. We want to see it.
I just wanted to tell you, I'm DRT red is now on the
What?
bag, and I'm removing the AET.
I think Peg's drunk.
Copy, Peg.
I'm still okay.
Copy, Peg.
Peg's had one too many whiskeys. Falling asleep over there. And bubble. Who saw the bubble? I wish I had a sound effect for bubble. I don't. We'll do this for bubbles. That's the bubble counter. Space bubble. I still see people chatting over there. She's drunk. Take her out. We need a replacement. Tag team partner. She's hammered. She's stuck now. Look what you've done. You got her stuck in there. Look at the assembly of this thing. I mean, if your room looked like that, your mother would call it a pigsty. Like, you're not going anywhere till you clean up this pigsty. What a disgusting mess. If you're an engineer, aren't you embarrassed? Can't you just come out and say, like, no, that's not how we would create anything? Can you imagine, like, a submarine that looked like that on the outside? Of course not, because who in their right mind would put anything on the outside of a submarine? You'd put it all on the inside, as you would a craft in space, unless you need to pretend that you're doing something important like spacewalking. Gotta fix the MDM, you know, the multiplexer, demultiplexer. Right after you fix the radiator, deradiator. Very important stuff. Let me move this so you don't have to keep watching that. Get out of here. And there we go. Where's the Earth? No, wait, hold on. I gotta put that back. Isn't it supposed to be the whole Earth is?
Bag on my BRT.
Yeah, look at where they're at.
And
Completely in the light. Look at the Earth below them.
those cables,
We just saw the Earth go completely black,
Ethernet cables that we
and yet you still got people saying
are clear
that it matches the ground observations. Look at the Earth down below.
have a good view on my WAS, but
It's completely dark.
back down, handrail 3446.
She's just rambling. That they arrest
Copy,
drunks
Peg. Thanks for that.
talking
We'll
like that
take
on the
a glove
street.
and hap check and a safer check one more time before you leave the work site.
Why don't you do a breathalyzer check?
Good thing. Gloves are still good, hap is still dry. And safer check in work.
You're not dry, Peggy. Come on. Be honest.
Right handle down.
No, 4 Chardonnays is not dry. There's no way.
Right handle down.
That wasn't even English.
Copy, Peg. That's a good report. With that, you can leave your work site and translate back to the airlock.
Like, get out of there. You're embarrassing everybody. Oh, space bubble. You just hooked that there. Oh boy. That's not a hook. You can't hook that on the pole. Oh. She's drunk. It's official. So she had like a little stash. Oh, blue screen. Night side of Earth, even though they're on the day side. Lost connectivity. Peggy unhooked something. Peggy, better plug that back in. Look at everybody hard at work. Let's look at the guy down here at the bottom, the guy in the blue shirt. Super hard at work. This guy here, he's got a lot going for him right now. Oh, can you not see my... I guess you can't see that. What do I do here? This one, and properties, and... Oops, already is that on that.
We had a brief LOS. We're back with you now.
Sorry, that was my bad.
I'm on the Cetus first.
I did that one. 243 NASA, there we go. And, oops. There we go. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. You can't, huh? Well, this guy's at the bottom not doing anything. This girl back here, she's got her arms crossed in the green shirt. Not doing anything. 2 people in the back there.
I'm showing complete here.
Doing nothing. This guy, winding cords.
With 4 caps on my MWS.
We copy. Fish stringer with 4 caps, and then you also have the connector cleaner toolkit still.
He's been doing that for 2 hours.
That's on my swing arm.
He's just...
Copy on your swing arm. With that, your work there is complete to Fish. You did mention having that extra wire tie for that cable that you saw with a bit of slack before the EVA.
Way to go, tuna fish. How much are they paying you to fake the world?
You have a go to do that as you feel necessary, and we'll take a glove and a hap check before you leave the work site as well.
Because sometimes water gets in there. Interesting.
About a 1 millimeter there and
penis? Oh.
RTG on the right glove.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Back your hand, no problems.
At the airlock.
Copy 2 Fish. Copy Peggy. You can open the thermal cover.
Thermal cover open.
Maggie, I'm going to do this one last wire tie.
Copy thermal cover.
Baloney door. It's not thermal cover. We saw a lot of the Earth today.
And
that was
Fish, your hap's still dry as well.
pretty cool.
That's dry. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you.
No worries. We'll all get a paycheck. Everything's fine. What is that view? What camera is that coming from? Oh, come on. So I think we're at 26. I think I'm correct at 26, right? I think I got 26. I missed one? Is it 27?
This is Mission Control
it's
Houston
gonna be
approaching
27.
the 2.5-hour mark into today's spacewalk. A contingency spacewalk that was
Kate Rubins is a
declared by
man.
station program management over the weekend following the failure of one of 2 fully redundant multiplexer demultiplexers. These
Let's
are
get
computer relay
scientific.
boxes that govern the functionality of much of the station's critical equipment.
Oh, does
They're
it?
both located in the S0 truss.
S0,
One of the
right.
MDMs, as they are called, that was installed during a spacewalk back in late March by Shane Kimbrough and Peggy Whitson, failed on Saturday morning.
Way to go, Peggy.
And on Sunday, program management determined that a contingency spacewalk was required and would be conducted today by Peggy Whitson and Jack Fisher to replace that failed unit. Whitson spent Sunday morning building up a spare unit, loading it with an enhanced processing card, one of the new EPIC cards, as they are called, enhanced processing interface cards.
Oh, how'd you get that up there?
That spare was brought out today.
Oh, it's new, but it's a spare?
By Whitson and powered up by the flight control team here in Houston and declared to be healthy as it goes through the initial phase of its diagnostics and the checkout of its software processing capability.
Right.
While Whitson was installing the new MDM into its slot in the S0 truss, Jack Fisher was working on the Destiny laboratory to install a pair of antennas that
he just
will
wound
be used
cords around
for enhanced wireless communications capability downstream.
Enhanced wireless downstreams.
He also rigged electrical cables for those two antennas. These were the only two tasks on the docket for today. The crew is preparing now to clean up all of its tools and other equipment and return to the airlock.
No, Peggy's sick. She's going to throw up.
Yeah, on the airlock gearing extender, internal.
Let me see her walk a straight line. I think the last time she was out there, she hid her little fifth of Jack Daniels over there in that little hole that she was in the whole time, pretending that she had dirty holes or something. Come on. Not falling for this one. Let's ask Jordan.
The cable's all pretty. I got my green hook. I'm headed home.
Huh?
All right. Great work, Two Fish. We'll see you at the airlock.
Yeah, it's weird that this metal structure in front of you looks like a ball. I wonder why that is. Interesting. Looks like anything that's straight ahead of you is turning into a ball. It's certainly unneeded. Jordan?
So as far as I'm concerned, I've had enough of science. I've had enough of all this doctors and PhDs. I know what's going on here. We've been lied to, and I mean big time.
Hey, thank you. Super chat. Who was that? I gotta pull this back up and learn how to do this thing. Somebody. Wog fun. Only Jaren is dedicated enough to live stream all night long. Well, I didn't live stream all night long. I woke up at 4. But I'm going to go back to bed, too. So.
Yeah. All right, so I need to give you...
Give her charcoal pills.
Let me grab that rack.
I don't know. Yeah, stuff them in there like that, like tuna fish. Oh, we lost the video again. That guy in the brown there is hard at work, though. So I do feel bad about saying they weren't working hard before. I didn't see that guy. He's definitely got some stuff going on. Swimming, swimming into water. Pretending we're in space. Stealing 52 million from taxpayers every day. Yet people still ask, what would they lie to us for? Why would they fool us? What is the point of lying? Yup, there's no point in lying. Just little old money, you know.
Ready?
Yeah.
Your best friend would probably steal $1,000 from you.
This is Mission Control Houston. Flight controllers reporting great news.
That
we now have a fully healthy multiplexer, demultiplexer. It has gone through its diagnostics, testing, and is up and running as a perfect MDM.
That's
so
28.
We now have 2 healthy computer relay boxes operating in tandem with one another, fully redundant, just the way we want it,
right.
To be able to control the functionality of all critical station equipment.
So what happened during the last 2 days? How'd you control it? Did you say black on black porn? What are they talking about? It's weird. I don't think it's necessary. Oh, I see somebody else was trying to talk to me. Oh, don't go away. I lost it. Let me go back over it. Oh, yeah, I see it. Bro, I've been trying to email you. Get me. Okay, I'll try and Dane302.
So both of our tasks for today are complete. The replacement of a failed computer data relay box that precipitated today's spacewalk.
Right.
And the installation of a pair of communications antennas on the Destiny laboratory. And with that, you're looking at Jack Fisher as he prepares to return to the Quest airlock as we now move into the home stretch of today's contingency spacewalk.
His name is Tuna Fish. Get it right.
Okay, we copy that. And Two Fish, you've already released your anchor hook then. You have it on your waist tether.
Good job, Tuna Fish.
Just released my anchor hook. I had to connect to hers first.
Copy and concur.
Another excellent job fooling the American public.
All right, I'm all cleaned up outside. All right.
What did
All
you
right,
do
Two Fish,
again?
you have a go to ingress.
Watch out the baloney door.
Out in the forward wall. If you want me on the aft, I can slide over there, whichever you prefer.
Okey-doke.
Stuff them like sardines.
About halfway, grab the thermal cover.
And that marks the official stop time of today's spacewalk, where Peggy Whitson drank a fifth of Jack Daniels and stuttered her way to screwing in 3 bolts. And I also said multiplexer, demultiplexer 28 times, and that's only since you started counting them. And we also had the baloney door and swam around for 2 hours and 22 minutes. Go ahead, sir. Your turn. Go ahead. I want to hear how many times you can say, Oh, watch out, baloney door. You forgot the blow dryer in the back. Get the blow dryer.
Thermal cover is closed.
No, it's not.
Copy thermal cover.
Come on, close this out.
You can remove your SCUs from the stowage pouch.
You better not remove them. You going to close the actual hatch or what? I don't think that's going to protect you. Come on, guy, I want to hear you close it out. You can say another 2. You probably get to 30.
Once you remove the SCU from the pouch, you can remove your DCM cover and Velcro it to your DCM and connect your SCUs to your DCM.
Oh, nobody's there to receive them. Oh, damn.
This is Mission Control Houston. This view now inside the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock. This spacewalk now drawing to a close. You're looking at Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency, who helped suit the crew up in the wee hours this morning and will supervise the repressurization of the crew lock section of Quest that is just beyond that hatchway. At the 2-hour, 36-minute mark into today's spacewalk, to recap, the tasks that were put into today's contingency spacewalk have been completed successfully.
Peggy screwed in 3 bolts.
The replacement of a failed multiplexer, demultiplexer, computer data relay box by Peggy Whitson. The flight control team here in Houston activated that spare MDM, as it is known, and powered it up, performed diagnostics on the new box, and it is up and running in excellent shape.
So
we have 2 healthy MDMs now for the controlability of all
important
of the critical
functions
station
of
functioning.
the
Those
space
2
station.
MDMs reside side by side in the in respective slots in the S0 truss. While Whitson was working on the MDM replacement, Jack Fisher was at the
Winding
Destiny
cords.
laboratory installing a pair of antennas and rigging cables, electrical cables to those antennas that will be used for wireless communications capability.
What, we didn't have that for
future
16
spacewalks
years?
downstream.
So does that mean we get a 24/7 view now?
This was the 201st spacewalk in support of space station assembly and maintenance. The 10th for Whitson. Her 10 spacewalks ties her with Mike Lopez Alegria for the most spacewalks ever conducted by an American astronaut. Early in the spacewalk, she surpassed both Jerry Ross and John Grunsfeld in aggregate spacewalking time, moving into 3rd place on the all-time list, behind Russian cosmonaut Anatoly Soloviev and Mike Lopez Alegria.
Oh, Mike Lopez Alegria. Yeah, he's in 2nd. Yep. remember that year that he took
A
over
caution
second.
for you, do not close the hatch until EMU water is off for 2 minutes. We're 40 seconds from an LOS now. We will call that for you. And verify the outer hatch is clear of hardware.
Huh?
Your hardware.
We're going through a loss of signal because that makes a lot of sense for all those who still believe in satellites.
Jack.
Makes a
Coming
lot of
over
sense.
up on the cleaning.
In case you guys don't know, you can actually call someone across the world. If you live in the United States, you can call somebody in China, and there is no delay, and also there is no loss of signal because they're on the other side of the Earth.
Right.
Or across the plane, if you are with it. Oh, blue screen. We're currently experiencing a loss of signal because reasons. All right, let's see. Brown shirt. Yep. Hard at work. Let's see this guy here in the front, arms crossed. That's, yep, pretty hard at work there. Let's see the girl in the green in the back. Yeah, real hard at work there. See here. Looks like everybody's really working hard. Earning every penny. Oh, the guy in the brown, he got up. Gotta go on his break. 10-minute break. He's been working hard. Gotta get on that break. See who else is working. The girl in the green is falling asleep. Guy in the blue is falling asleep.
I think so.
Okay.
All those guys are very necessary for the
We had
spacewalk.
an LOS. We are back with you guys, and great news. We've completed the configs on the MDM, and we
what
have
happened?
a healthy MDM in place now.
Yes!
And a viable backup for station. So excellent work getting us back into a nominal config.
Oh, Alzheimer's is eradicated now. Cancer has been cured. The hungry will not go hungry again. The homeless are moving into the houses that have been foreclosed. Man, you guys are solving the world's problems.
And another update for you.
Oh,
Pretty
another one.
impressive, I think, from all the work down here of everybody at NASA and you guys. Our EXT-1 failure occurred only 2 days, 21 hours, 38 minutes from now, and we are already back in a good position. So excellent work to everybody down here on the ground, and most importantly to you guys up there.
Yeah, great work. Really good job. Excellent. Now we can keep the tin can going around in circles. This is fantastic.
We're just saying that for flight, we're hoping that the board turns green.
With that, Two Fish, you can verify the outer hatch is clear of hardware and verify the handle position is per the hatch decal. Verify the handle position is...
He's ready.
That girl's kept in a prison
Copy.
cell.
You can
pretty soon.
close and lock the hatch.
Very hard workers.
Copy. In order.
That's weird. See, she was talking on her hot mic.
This is
there, but it's
Mission
not
Control
coming across.
Houston spacecraft communicator Jessica Meir here in Mission Control, providing congratulatory words to Whitson and Fisher upon the completion of their replacement of a failed computer data relay box that now brings us back to a normal configuration with 2 healthy MDMs, multiplexer, demultiplexers, governing critical station functionality.
That was number 30.
Back in April
Could be
of
31, I'm not sure.
2014, when a similar but not identical failure occurred to one of the MDMs on the S0 truss, it took 12 days to mount a contingency spacewalk for Steve Swanson and Rick Mastracchio.
Oh,
To do
Mastracchio.
almost exactly what Peggy Whitson and Jack Fisher accomplished today. This spacewalk was accomplished in less than 3 calendar days. The contingency spacewalking
Such great
team
let's give them more
put
money.
together all of the plans very quickly. Approval was given by space station program managers on Sunday.
Right.
And the spacewalk was carried out earlier today.
Really good job.
Whitson and Fisher are back inside the crew lock section of Quest as we stand by for the normal post-spacewalk procedures that will result in the repressurization of the crew lock a short time from now, signaling the official end to today's spacewalk.
SDUs are mated to your DCMs and your water is off.
I think 30 is a good number to end on. I think it's pretty good.
Water off.
Mated water off.
Water off.
Copy. As you just reported, the hatch is closed. So Peggy on the UIA, check oxygen EMU 1 and 2 valves are open.
Can I move this thing or does that screw us up? Oops. Yeah, I can't do it.
EMU 1 and 2 valves are open.
Sorry.
Switch power for EV 1 and 2 to on, ON.
Water off. Empty out the hatch.
On.
Turn off my scuba tanks.
On 18.5 and 18.
Give me my snorkel.
Light.
Can I get my towel?
Copy that and copy good lights. On your DCMs, switch power to SCU and expect a warning tone.
Turn off the conveyor belt earth.
EV1, SCU.
Desalinate the water.
E2, SCU.
Copy. Take your
Dehumidify,
oxygen
humidify
actuator
the
to press.
dehumidifier. Don't forget to multiplex the demultiplexer in the multiplex frame. 3 turns to the right. Alpha Bravo 7. Losers. So I think we'll close it out with I'll find real quick a random astronaut interview, and we'll listen to them because you can just predict it. What will happen is they will be talking and ask the easiest questions, and then somebody will ask, "Hey, thanks."
Copy 1 and 2.
Maybe that was old. I don't know.
With that, we'll be switching your comm mode to hardline, and I will be turning you back over to Thomas.
Thank you.
When you enter, since you did
Watch your hot
switch SCUs, you'll also switch ETAs. So Two Fish will be on the aft ETA and Peggy on the forward. Great job once again, guys, and we'll leave you in the capable hands of Thomas.
Yeah, 52 million. Good job.
All right. Thank you, guys. Again.
Stop playing around.
By the team down there.
Okay, so I'm going to search here.
Absolutely. Great job, everybody.
ISS
Thanks for getting
astronaut.
us ready so quick and getting us back in a good config.
Interview.
It's in a hard line.
And we're going to hear them say, nothing important. We know that much. So I'll just find a random one. And let's see these two guys. Oh, that's the one that we've seen. They've had the hats or something. Oh, this one, if you haven't seen this one. Oh, that's somebody's taping it that's showing the fail. Clearly in this one, if you've started to see people talk about how they are using a monitor, if he shows the whole thing, actually our video showed it live. Oh, that was the 4K. Let me look at the 4K one. It's actually really good to show you how they are using a monitor to basically play ping pong with CGI items, but that's the only reason you would be looking at the monitor. 4K from space, I don't know, something like that. And then I'm going back to bed. Let's see here, 4K. No. I want the 4K. Oh, this is ours. I guess we could watch that one. No, don't see. Is it this one? No. This one. Yeah, this one. So we will fast forward just a little bit. Get where
Thank you. Good morning. And
to Sam Blackman.
Okay. Oh, I want to show you something else here that's interesting. So they're pretending like they're just talking to the astronauts here, right? And they haven't talked to them here. But if you watch at the very beginning of this, or are they not going to show it in this feed? Oh, they don't show it here.
And welcome.
So they act like they've called the astronauts. They even say like, the old little start that they have to say, like station.
Coming.
Watch.
We should hear it in the room very shortly.
They're pretending like there's some 15-second delay for some reason. Look how ridiculous this is. There's no delay that long. They're 250 miles away. It's like San Francisco to Santa Barbara.
Yes, we're ready for the event.
Okay, so they're acting like this is the first, okay, we're ready for the event, whatever. Let me go back and show you what we caught in the live feed that we did. So this one here. Sorry to listen to my own video when we do this. But at the very beginning here, you'll hear this guy in the background. Right at 10:30, we're going to be seeing the ISS. See where it was.
Big day for some NASA.
People who are watching, if you have a different for us, this is.
But nevertheless,
it's when you
happen
to watch the. I also have this thing on this. What we're going to hear is, I'll just tell you right now, and then we'll play it. You'll hear the announcer talking to the astronauts beforehand. Normal conversation. He's asking him, can he call them by their real names during the interview? And then they go through the whole show of.
He found the.
Let me find it here.
West. No, Jaren sounds.
And to be a
That's before that.
Feedback, and it makes.
Okay. West.
Over about the one who's building Flat Earth.
We were going to colonize the moon. The Raptor.
Yeah. Here where it is here.
Screen everybody and confuse them because atomic clocks, they should be. For sure.
Well, that's another thing I was going to ask you about.
I was going to say maybe they forgot to set for time dilation. What, Jared?
I was going to ask Bob if he'd heard about that guy. I can't remember his name.
It's in the background here. I'm trying to find
our voice.
Where it is. There you go. Listen what's being said here in the background.
Oh,
okay.
Now we got
Peg.
something.
You'll hear him asking them.
Yeah, you have to hit the play button there.
What name? There you go. Listen.
Wonderful. Quick question. Is it okay throughout the interview to refer to you as Peggy and Jack at times, or would you prefer Commander Whitson and Colonel Fisher?
See, so they're talking. They're at, is it cool if we call you Commander Peggy? And there's no 15-second delay, so they're just having conversations with these people. And then when it comes time to go live, they're acting like this is a big deal, and they've got to wait 20 seconds to have them.
Very shortly.
So he's like, okay, now we got to wait for them, and we got to do the whole official.
Hello, Commander Fisher and Commander Whitson and Colonel Fisher. It is an honor for all of us
Such
and
an
those
honor.
online to join you and all of your colleagues at NASA in the first ever live 4K stream from space. What is the ISS position in orbit right now?
This was also incorrect. Look at this. Look at this delay. Who is this stupid?
11 seconds.
11 seconds. Was there an 11-second delay on the live spacewalk we just watched?
Well, we're just passing over Baja, California.
No, they were over the East Coast.
Over North America. By the time we finish talking, we'll be over Central Africa.
Wow.
And you think,
Amazing.
first 4K view from space, walk over the damn window and show the Earth. Walk over to the window, show the Earth. They don't show the Earth one time in this whole feed. But let's watch them play with CGI. So what you'll notice there is they are going to be looking at the monitor.
And we're going to move up close, so we'll get our focus up here a little closer so you can see it in more detail.
So imagine that you and your friend are in space and you're going to play back and forth ping pong with a ball of water. Okay, well the thing is, they're looking at the monitor. Why would you be looking at a monitor? What difference does it make? You just play ping pong back and forth. It's obviously on the camera. You're right in front of it. But the thing is, you'll see them constantly looking up because they're not playing with real water. See how they're looking up at the monitor? They're making sure that they know where the thing is based on where the monitor says, because it's CGI. And when they play back and forth like ping pong or whatever they're doing, he has to look at the monitor to see where he needs to be, and it's all just faked. All just garbage.
And a little food coloring added to that.
I mean, this is what you do on your 4K from space.
And of course, all of these things are happening because of the surface tension plays such a big role, and it's not
Surface
impacted
tension.
in zero gravity by the forces it is on Earth. So that's really a fun way to demonstrate that. Another really
It's a fun way to demonstrate what?
something called thin films, and you can do that also here in zero gravity. But we're going to get set up for that one.
This is all such a joke. This is what 16 years in space have gotten us. Balls of water and film of water. That's what we get. Unfreaking believable. Yeah, make a film of water. Let's do that.
So I've got a little bit of water in this plastic bag.
So my favorite thing is whenever you listen to these interviews. This is one news. Oh, is that when he talks? No, I don't like this one.
Station, this is your president. Do you hear me?
What a joke. How's this guy falling for this stuff?
Are you ready for the event?
No, I was looking at astronaut stuff.
Yes, we're ready for the event.
His daughter is creepy.
White House, this is Mission Control, Houston.
Look at her
Please
stare at
call
him.
station for a voice
That's
check.
creepy.
Very
Let's see if we can find another astronaut interview here before we go off. Just because it's fun to hear these guys talk and not have a clue. Let's listen to this guy. Discusses his life in space with his alma mater. Okay, good.
Two Fish, we are ready to begin when you are.
Tuna fish. So what's funny is, and I just is a random one I haven't heard before, but if they ever ask him what scientific experiments they've done, they haven't done any. They say, "Oh, well, we've done plenty of scientific experiments, and we're really moving science along and
Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
getting a
This
lot
is
of
the
things
mission
done
control
scientifically,
unit. Please call station for a voice check.
and progressing the ideas of science."
Station, this is Joyce Light.
We don't need to talk like that.
Aeronautics and Astronautics at MIT, here with our students. Are you ready?
We don't need to talk to people like they're special.
Oh yeah, Joyce, I'm ready.
Station, are you ready?
Jack,
You're 250
I'm really
miles from
speechless.
us.
Personally, I am so thrilled for you. I am so happy for our students here.
Mhm.
I have been smiling ever since you got the mission, ever since you launched. You deserve all of the best things in the world. You are a special person. That's what happens to MIT students. They are special. And Jack
You sound like you
is one of
teach
our
special
best.
ed.
And I could just go on and on, but I'll save that for later once you get back over drinks.
Drinks.
I'll pay you when I get home.
Oh, dear.
Where's the delay?
Kids, the questioners.
11-second delay.
Folks, my people.
This is a teacher at MIT. Man, I wish I had my degree.
Over to you.
Hi, Jack. My name is Barrett Slegelmilk. I'm a first-year grad student here at MIT in the Leaders for Global Operations program. My question is, NASA has been sending astronauts to space for over half of a century, and
Nothing's happened.
Training has continued to evolve over the years. And what was the most surprising thing to you when you first arrived in space?
Here comes some nonsense answer.
Well, you know, no matter how much training you have, it just can't prepare you for how awesome it is up here.
So awesome.
One of my colleagues said that I was like a smart little 12-year-old in the middle of Disneyland after 2 shots of espresso, because I'm just so excited.
Oh, one of your friends said that?
You know, 8 minutes after lighting the motor, I look out the window and I see, you know, what I've only seen in pictures, and you just can't get it from a picture. You have to experience, because there's almost a soul to it.
How did
and
you look out the
reality
window?
is just so amazing.
You're strapped in the
And
seat.
then
The
when
window's
you're
way up on the
here,
side.
And I know
Can't look
everybody
out the window.
there can relate to this. When you find a new way to look at a problem, it makes your mind grow.
Right.
And this station, every day, my
Mhm.
mind is growing and thinking in 3 dimensions, and it is. It's
Right,
a-
on Earth
it's
we
an
think in 2
incredible
dimensions.
experience that I think makes you better, and that's why
Right.
I really
Better person.
really feel that we should explore more, and that we should get more people involved in this.
Right, get more money.
Because no matter how much training you have, to experience this and to have this regenesis of
regenesis.
of excitement and
Right, excitement.
wanting to explore is
Explore.
something that we just can't capture any other way.
Right. Remember, this guy was in a group of 4,000 and was picked
Hi, Jack.
to be an astronaut.
My name's Christine Chappelle,
astronaut.
and I'm currently a sophomore in the Department of Aeroastro.
Get
and
out.
I was wondering, before you launched, what did you think the most important part of your training is? And now that you're up there, has that answer changed?
Well, you know, it probably hasn't, because emergency training is kind of the most important. We have to know that stuff cold,
Oh,
so that we can just do it in an emergency.
Go find the video of Smarter Every Day when he's talking about the seals breaking in the hand crank in the cupola, and they ask Don Pettit what would happen. And he says, "Well, then there's a leak." He says, "Well, what would you do if there's a leak?" And he says, "Well, I guess there would be a procedure. I don't know what it is." And this astronaut just says that they have to know it cold. If you don't see there's a problem here,
It hasn't, because
tell you.
emergency training is kind of the most important.
Right,
We
most
have to
important
know
thing.
That stuff cold.
Gotta know it cold.
So that we can just do it
Yep.
in an emergency.
Or say,
You
I don't
you
know
have
what
a
the
fire,
procedure would
a
be.
depress or something like that. You can't really sit there and talk about it. So that is the most important. It's what we spend the most time on, and it is rightly so. The other stuff are trainers in Houston, well, all around the world, from Russia to Japan to Germany to Houston, everywhere, Canada. They do a great job of getting us ready, giving us the skills we need. We're kind of jacks of all trade, master of none. So we need to just be able to look at a problem, have the general skills, figure it out, and do it. And they do a really good job of training us to do that. The other stuff you pick up from your crew members who have been here, and I'm super lucky. I have, Peggy Whitson, Dr. Whitson, who has more time on space than any U.S. astronaut, and Fyodor Yurchikhin has even more. This is his 5th space flight, so 2 very experienced guys, plus Thomas Pesquet and Oleg Novitsky are just great. So they teach me everything else I need to know. I think emergency, yes, most important, and they did a good job of it. Everything else, we've learned the skills, or we get it up here.
Yeah, that's a brilliant scientist right there. I mean, I can tell.
Dobre utra, Colonel Fisher. It's refreshing to see the scientific communities of the U.S. and Russia working so closely to maintain manned spaceflight at a time
you wrote
when
that question?
Other tensions between the countries are so heightened. What would you identify as some unexpected commonalities and differences you found between yourself and, say, Fyodor and Oleg?
Well, you didn't say your name, but you should have, because I think that's John. And I've known John a while. I actually work for his dad down in Eglin. So hello, John Graham, and Dobre utra. Yes. Yes, I think that the International Space Station is the greatest example of international cooperation in the history of humanity, bar none. We had 15 countries come together and make an amazing international laboratory. Every day we're working together. We just had
What do you guys do?
Emergency procedures drill that had people on all sorts of continents, all around the world, working together with us. It's just amazing.
That is amazing.
Every day.
Nowhere else in the world does that happen.
Being able to show the world and serve as an example of what you can do when you work together is really important to us. Fyodor and I have kind of an unofficial emblem for our mission that's modeled after Apollo Soyuz, and looks just like the Apollo Soyuz patch, but it's the saying is "Одна команда," so one team. And it's one team working together to accomplish great things.
Right, by lying to the public.
As far as differences and similarities, the similarities are the important things. So hard work, integrity, and a desire to explore, we all have that, or we wouldn't be here.
You're exploring by going in a circle.
The other stuff,
Good
it's
exploring.
just not that important to our shared future. So we focus on what we have in common. We respect each other's cultures, and we try to dive into that and get to know and appreciate the goodness that everyone brings.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, the most important stuff we share, those morals and values, and we can leverage that to work together and do great things.
Awesome things.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for screwing up rule number 1 of Air Force briefings.
Yeah, Air Force
Jack.
briefings.
My name is Piper. I'm a junior in the aerospace department here.
Get out.
And in high school, my senior year, I had the remarkable opportunity to meet and talk with some astronauts, and it helped me realize my own calling as an engineer and choose to come study here at MIT. I was just curious, what you think we can do to continue inspiring young people about aerospace?
Oh, we got to push the STEM sciences. Got to push the STEM subjects.
The answer is all of us need to do it. A lot of times we're like, oh, well, NASA should have this program or this education outreach. Yeah, we should, but it's on all of us. You, me, people at NASA, people at MIT. We need to inspire those who follow us.
Right, inspire them.
When I was at MIT, I was helping with the ROTC detachment and going down to a local elementary school and every now and again teaching a science lesson. It doesn't sound like much, But you never know what that seed is that's going to ignite in someone, just like it did for you. So take your passion. You people at MIT, I guarantee, are super passionate about what you're doing. You love the sciences. You live it. So spread that.
Yeah, spread it.
Take what you have and spread it. We are at probably the most exciting time in space exploration in my lifetime for sure, because there's so much going on. We got this sweet station. We have commercial crew coming online.
When?
We're building the biggest rocket in the history of mankind.
When?
We're doing all sorts of things.
When?
And it's gaining momentum. We're building an infrastructure that we can really launch off of. There's probably somebody in that room who's going to walk on Mars.
Bullshit.
I guarantee there's plenty of people in that room who are going to contribute to it. So take that. Take what you have and spread it behind you. We all need to take a part in that. And any form of media that you have, Twitter or Snapchat or whatever.
Push NASA.
Spread it. Spread the gospel of spaceflight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You said that well.
You.
Spread the gospel of spaceflight. What's going on here?
Hi, Jack. My name is Martina, and I'm a junior here. I was wondering, what are your interactions with the rest of your astronauts like in
Somebody
terms
already asked that.
of seniority? Is there a hierarchy? And also, what percentage of your tasks are individual versus collaborative?
That's a great question. It's not quite as regimented as what I was used to in the military, but it certainly is, especially in, we mentioned emergency situations. Peggy is our commander right now. She's the boss. So in those emergency situations, we need to follow what she's directing us to do because there's not time for a democracy. You just got to get it done.
If you ask a fourth grade
here in
classroom,
a month or two,
they'll tell you
Theodore
the same
will take
thing.
over, he'll be the commander, and it's the same thing. And obviously, they have so much experience that just makes sense.
Right.
Other than that, you know, we're such a small crew, and we, in the USOS section, the three of us are together most of the day. The Russians are together most of the day. We come together for meals. You know, definitely spend a lot of time together. But as far as delineation between doing tasks on your own or together,
what tasks
we
do
have
you
a
do?
lot of individual tasks.
Oh, tasks.
We try to get them done and be efficient. And when we walk by and see somebody having I'm sorry, I said walk by. When we float by, because that's awesome.
I heard walk by.
When we float by and we see they're having an issue, then we stop and help them.
Yep, I'm sure you do.
For the really big stuff, they actually schedule both of us or even three of us to work on the same item. So
What
it
item?
just depends on what task you're doing.
What task?
If it's a really big, complicated thing, there might be more than one person. But
Name one.
We try to work together as a team regardless and just get the job done.
What job? Can we get the name of one experiment?
Hi, Jack. I'm Logan Kleiss. I'm an undergraduate, class of 2019. First of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. It's really awesome.
It's a pleasure.
And my question is how regimented is your time on the station? And when you do have free time, what do you do?
Oh, I read. I catch up on my email.
It's pretty darn regimented. First off, thank Joyce because she put it together, and she's awesome. She's my girl. Second, as far as regimentation, there, you know, we have this little red line that goes across our schedule, and they're anywhere from a 3-hour or 4-hour task
What
to
task?
a 5-minute task. And you know, depending on what you're doing, it gets a little tricky to keep up. We have to work out 6 days a week, 2.5 hours a day. That's so we don't come back, you know, walking around like a 90-year-old dude with bone and muscle loss. Then we have to, you know, just living up here is, you know, you got to do things that you don't have to do on the ground. You know, hygiene's different, and getting our food out of a, you know, spigot in the wall is different. So there's just stuff you have to do. To survive. So that takes up time.
Right.
And then you have to look at the next day. So
Right, look at
when
the
you
next
put all
day.
that together, there's not a lot of free time. But the free time you have, you're rewarded with the most amazing views you could ever imagine. I can float over to any one of these windows, open it up, you know, day or night, look outside and see things you just can't imagine. It doesn't even make sense.
So again, look at the cupola window, which is the middle window with like the 7 windows that go around it. Never once have they looked out that window at nighttime. Not one time.
Sense to me, you know, before I saw him last night, we were taking pictures of where we're going to go do EVAs, and I was in the Russian, one of the modules, and I'm looking down, waiting for the sunrise to take these pictures, and there's this huge thunderstorm over China, and, you know, we always see thunderstorms from below, and sometimes you'll see cloud-to-cloud lightning, but I was seeing cloud-to-cloud, cloud-to-ground, over top lightning. It was like
cloud to ground
awesome.
from
it was
above.
So beautiful. It was like it was alive. So, you know, if we have free time, we're probably taking pictures or calling home or, you know, trying to share this amazing experience with the world with tweets or whatever.
Thank you.
Oh no, not Collins.
I'm Mike Collins. Jack, I wish I was up there with you.
You wish you'd been to space.
I know you're shepherding dozens.
It's fun. I'm going to pause this. I haven't seen this, but Collins is one that always drops hints. If you watch any interview with him, he always says something hilarious about never going to the moon or not going to space. He'll always say, you know, somebody asked him, well, what's it like when you look up at the moon? He said, I look up at the moon and I can pretend I've been there or I can pretend I haven't. And either way, it's the same. He'll always throw these little things. So let's see if he does here.
Mike Collins?
Oh, in the flesh. Liar supreme.
No, imposter, but I do have a question for you, and that is...
what's space like?
You're shepherding dozens of experiments there.
Name one.
Which one is your favorite?
Yes,
or
nice question,
better,
Collins.
Which one do you think is most important? What's showing evidence of being able to improve our lives here on Earth?
Good job, Collins. Let's
Man,
force some
sir,
lies out of other
It's a pleasure
people.
to talk to you. I don't know if you remember, but I got to sit with you a few years ago at the MIT banquet. What an honor. As far as experiments, sir,
right.
You know, I think that
go ahead, name one.
You proved in Apollo and in the early space program that sometimes the most impactful things that we discover are answers to questions we didn't know we had. And I think that, you know, I can go through and list dozens of experiments that I'm working on because of this unique environment without gravity and convection and sedimentation.
We know how it works.
We can grow perfect crystals. We can do all these wonderful things.
Right.
But it might be the most innocuous experiment that has the biggest effect.
I mean, think you have all day. You know you're going to have an interview. Wouldn't you think of one experiment? Wouldn't you have one experiment ready in your mind? Even if you're lying through your teeth, wouldn't you have one ready? This guy's going to get away with not answering the question.
And I also think that inspiration is
inspiration
is hard to quantify, but has such a huge impact.
It's bigger than the
when
experiments.
When I was working on the Raptor, I asked that, you know, they found out I wanted to apply for the astronaut program, and I said, well, how many of you guys, you know, got interested in engineering because of space? Every single person in the room raised their hand. It was guys from 20 to 60, and every single one raised their hand. So that's what you did, sir, and that's what we hope we can continue to do.
Good answer. That had a lot to do with the
get
question.
Next generation going and to really get this whole space exploration thing moving for good.
Right. That's a good answer.
You certainly are doing it, Jack, big time and a lot better than we ever did. Thank you for your work up there.
A lot better than we ever did, meaning they didn't do shit. Collins, trying to get out the truth before he croaks.
I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to try to be quick. But I'm Andrew Owens. I'm a PhD candidate here at MIT and did my undergrad at Rice University. And I also had a question about sort of technologies and development. And what in particular you think are innovative technologies that have the potential for the most benefit, and how would your life on the
he's
station
really
be
going to answer this one.
now if we had those technologies today?
You know, I'm sorry, I'm probably talking too long for each question, and I want to get everybody through.
Right, got to move on to the next question.
As far as your question, up here in the space station,
This is
the space station is an evolution of technology, so we just keep updating it as we go. It's 15 years old, but we have some of the most modern equipment in the world, so it's not the biggest. It wouldn't have the biggest impact. The biggest impacts for us are the efficiency that we see.
These guys got to be kidding me.
The commercial providers making space more accessible. You know, reusing first stage.
Right.
New engines like
New engines.
Blue Origin, SpaceX. You know, Sierra Nevada,
Boeing,
Cygnus, all of these Orbital, all of these companies are making space more affordable, and that is important.
Right.
The other thing that we need for any deeper exploration is propulsion, and right now, you know, when we're talking specific impulse around 400, that's about as good as we get with the liquid, and we need to do better. And some of the newer technologies
You went to the
are in
moon.
the tens of thousands for specific impulse. And even though it might be the thrust of a butterfly fart, if you point the butterfly in the right direction for long enough and keep him farting, he'll get going pretty fast in space.
That's
so
scientific, let me tell you.
We need to develop those technologies so that 6-month trip to Mars is 30 days. And then we don't have to worry about the radiation. I think that's probably the key for us to really push deeper into the galaxy.
You mean go further than 400 feet or 400 miles?
Everybody who didn't get to ask a question, you're using my time. Say your name. Say, Jack, we're going to do this again.
Hi, Matt. Good to see you again. It was great to meet you at SpaceX, and I'm really happy to finally see you in space.
You sure?
I'm too short for this. Hi, I'm Kayla. We will take a brain check.
Hi, Jack. I'm Eric. I'll shoot you a text, and we'll talk about virtual reality with you.
Okay.
Hi, Jack. My name is Ronnie Foreman. I'm a second-year candidate here, and I did my undergrad at Georgia Tech, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks very much.
Jack, you did a phenomenal job. We are so proud of you here.
So proud.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Well, I'm sorry I talked so long.
I adore you, Jack. You can talk until you're blue in the face. You are amazing. You are a burrito of awesomeness, covered in awesome sauce, my friend.
Burrito of awesomeness!
Wow.
All right. Oh, watch.
Don't do a flip.
You ready?
Don't do a flip.
Here we go.
Don't do it.
Read my socks.
Don't do a flip. Oh, the harness is working well with you, sir. Oh, watch out.
Did you read them?
One more time, slower. One more time, slower. Oh.
My wife gave me these.
We say my wife gave me herpes? That's weird.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Wow.
Thank you to all
Wow. Well, guys, it was fun. We got to see a bunch of nonsense. I'm going to go back and watch some of what we saw earlier because there was some interesting parts of the spacewalk that were interesting. If anybody thinks they had 30 as their guess, I think that was pretty much what we ended up on. 30 multiplexers, demultiplexers.
Let's get scientific.
It was fun. And appreciate you guys being on with me. Check the channel all the time because I'm going to be going live, hopefully very often. And if you guys have any requests for any kind of certain kind of show, email me, jeranism@yahoo. If you've got a question, best place to do that is ask.fm/jeranism. So far, and nobody can say this isn't the case, I've answered every single question. And if you go through the list of, it's got to be 500 now at this point, there's a lot of questions that don't have anything to do with things that you would think people would be asking. For some reason, they ask me the strangest questions, but I will answer them all. So far, that's the easiest way for me to yield questions. So I guess that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. What is today? Nope, Tuesday. Can't think of anything else that's going on. I'm going back to bed. I was up way too early this morning, and my wife is waiting for me. And if anybody knows what that's like, then you would go to bed too. So till next time, guys, be kind to each other. Don't lie to each other. And this has been Jeranism. We will see you soon. I think we should. Till then, peace.